Lights, camera, action.
Hello and welcome to the spiritual home of surf sports, the Gold Coast of Australia, for the 2024 Lifesaving World Championships. It's national teams day one in the surf today. We've had 2 days of pool competition and we've got plenty of action coming up. My name's Josh Minogue. Joining me in the commentary booth, former World Surf Race champion Courtney Hancock. Courtney, we've had 2 huge days of competition in the pool so far, but we get back to the beach today. There's a little bit of waves, there's a little bit of wind down there, and there's going to be plenty of really tight racing all weekend long.
Oh, these athletes have had a massive 2 days, as you said, and then we've seen the youth out there the last 2 days out in the ocean, so I'm sure they would have been giving a lot of tips and tricks to the open competitors, but we've got that northerly up today. There's a bit, the water temperature 21, I heard the Euros saying yesterday, it's so warm out here, it's a bath, but we know for the Queenslanders and the Australians, it'll be maybe a little bit chilly, but I really think today that northerly is definitely going to put a lot on offer.
Yeah, it's going to play a role, that is for sure. We have plenty of nations from all around the world. Let's take a look at the club caps here. Obviously, the Australians, the Kiwis and the Italians had a fantastic couple of days in the pool. The Italians are in front. Traditionally really, really strong in the pool, those pool events. Struggle a little bit more in the surf. That's where the Australians, the Kiwis, the Americans, the British really come to the fore. But a big contingent, more than I've seen over the last couple of years, and that's good to see here. They've come to Australia for these World Championships, and they've come from all over the world.
They certainly have. We knew going into the pool events that the New Zealanders, we knew they had a really, really strong pool team, as well as the Italians. But yesterday, we also saw and heard, there was a lot of the Great Britain were around. We saw France up and happening, and also the beach events. It's going to be happening as well. We know they're very strong there too, as well as Japan.
7 days of competition so far. We've had the Masters Championships already, the youth competitions going on. And as you said, the French did incredibly well in that youth competition. I think they were second overall coming off the beach. So it's not just one-way traffic for the Australians and the Kiwis. We'll take a look at some of the events going on today. We'll kick things off this morning with the Ocean Man and the Ocean Woman events. So we call it the Iron Man, the Iron Woman in Australia. It's the Ocean Man, Ocean Woman here. Surf race action after that. Beach relay as well. We've got a couple of relays in the afternoon, the Ocean Man and Ocean Woman relay as well. That's a really good one, and one of the events where anyone could really jump up and get that. And in these conditions, it's certainly going to cause a little bit of havoc. Big wade off that bank with the low tide at the moment, and there's enough little surf in there to shake things up, but it's not unmanageable for some of these countries. I saw a few of the guys and girls this morning, maybe the Canadians, and a few of those others who aren't traditionally used to big waves out there, looking a little bit of trepidation out there, but it's small enough to shake to be manageable, but big enough to shake things up.
Absolutely. We saw on the board rescue in the youth, Spain actually, they took out that board rescue and did incredibly well. So you are right, they're managing it very well. It's a little swells, a little chop, but there's also a lot of potholes out there as well. So we saw some of the Australians went down, the New Zealanders went down, so there's plenty of opportunity to make those metres up, and also depends on your draw as well. I found yesterday that the northern side had a bit more of a bank and the southern side was a bit more of a hole, but we'll definitely see that in very, very shortly.
And I think the northern side today, like you said, there's a bank there, that northerly's blowing. I think you want to be on the northern end, that is for sure. We can see the men lining up. The Ocean Man 2 semi-finals will go today, and they're looking to get themselves a spot in the final this afternoon. The finals package from 1 till 3 available here on the live stream and will be screened across Australia on SBS as well. So make sure you check the action this afternoon. The first event of the day off and away. The men are straight into it at the moment. Swim up first. We'll give you a run through of the start list in just a few moments' time. And we can run through right now, and excuse some of the pronunciations from me as well. From Singapore, Dennis Senchao-Jat, the Italian there, Ditulio, Noah Lombard from South Africa, Senlich from Switzerland, Lasakin from Sweden, Senic from Austria, Tommy O'Neill from the US of A. Very good athlete. Watch for him to go round. We go down Pekar from the Czech team there, Hong Kong Chai Wan Kwan, Rakutski from Argentina, Dalsgaard from Denmark, Sanchez from Spain, Azawa from Japan, Wulkov of Germany, Dean from Canada. Watch the Canadians go there. Kupkov of the Netherlands, Bobby Whittaker, Robbie Knuckles, watch for him. He is a very, very good Ironman. Spent some time out here in Australia. He is from the Great Britain and Northern Ireland team. The defending world champion, Corey Taylor of New Zealand, Van Latham of Belgium, Tissa Mail from France, and Corey Fletcher of Australia. This one is a very, very good semi-final. I would say your top three in this event, Corey Taylor, Corey Fletcher, Bobby Knuckles. These guys are going to be there at the pointy end this afternoon, aren't they?
They certainly are. As you can see at the moment, we saw a lot of the athletes really, really working that bank. And remember, this is an M-shaped style as well. So that's why we see they haven't missed the second can. The athletes are actually coming back in, which this is the most difficult type of ocean man that you can actually do, because when they come back in, they have to try and use their skills, get a wave in, reset, come around that turning can, and go back out again. So it's essentially four legs for each leg. So it's quite complicated. We will see a lot of skills based here, and of course fitness.
Yeah, that is exactly right. We can see out in front Corey Fletcher getting it done at the moment. Azawa from Japan in second. Corey Taylor in third. Robert Whittaker maybe just gets down that one as well. So 1, 2, 3 on that lead wave. Great skills from the Australian out in front. No, sorry, it's the South African Noah Lombard. There, he's done a great job as well as he stands up, and very, very good skills from these four gentlemen out in front at the moment. No Whittaker. I would have expected a little bit more from him early on this one, but he'll lead into it. They'll go in on the swim, turn around, and back out there. Good start from Corey Fletcher. Very, very strong. Our man in the sand, Ty Dowker, is down on the beach. What a start from the Australians, Ty. What are you seeing from the sand?
Yeah, really interesting down here at the moment, guys, because you've got these strong northeast winds. So what it's done is push the competitors a little bit to the south as they now come around this, the M shape. And the other thing too, we noticed this yesterday with that of the youth, is this shore break. A bit of a punch on the shore break, but then it filters out with a bit of a drawback in that swell as well. So you see the competitors now are sort of crossing each other's path as they're being pushed to the south, but really testing conditions. And I expect this wind to pick up throughout the day as well. So it's all about qualifying here, semi-final one. But I tell you what, the boys are turned up and it is on.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Ty. They're really going to work. Courtney, you've done more of these than, well, just about anybody on the beach. What's it like trying to manage that semi-final, especially first event of the day? You've got to get yourself through to the final, but you don't want to burn too many matches out there, do you?
Yeah, we spoke about this actually yesterday for the youth, just being that you're up first, you haven't seen a race in front of you, so it's really important to get a really good warm-up and really try and feel that sand, feel that water, because as we look out, there is a lot of water movement always at Curragh, but especially today because of that, we've got that north-northwesterly that's really coming. It was just heard from Ty. It's really, you can see the competitors were going in and out and almost crashing into each other. So a lot of water movement. We've just seen it go off screen now, but where that brown water is, that's going to be really, really tricky for the ski. So at the moment, as you said, Josh, semi-final, you've really got to try and calm your nerves and focus on yourself. Don't try and be out there and try and count the numbers and be like, okay, I'm fourth, I'm in a good spot. Just got to really go through the processes. It's a long way. It is an endurance event, and you've really got to make sure you moment by moment, wave by wave, because you never know. We saw yesterday in the youth again, a couple of people really got caught out, and you could just see they lost that track of time.
I think it's about course management, skills, and just no mistakes. The guys who are good enough, they know if they don't make any mistakes, they'll get through. And the guys right on the edge, they're obviously putting in everything they've got. And mistakes are the difference between your top 10 getting through and your 11, 12, 13 and missing out. And when it comes down to that overall point score, because that's what we're racing for here, it's not about the individual win. It's not about winning each event. It's about as many points as you possibly can for your team. That is going to prove the difference. If you can get into the final, you get yourself a couple more points there. You could jump your team up 1, 2, 3 spots. And the the man who got it done in 2022 in Italy, Corey Taylor, is getting it done out here as well. I got a little tip last night when I got into town that he's just carrying a few injuries at the moment, calf strains, and he hasn't really been doing a whole lot of running over the last couple of months. So for a man who's traditionally very quick across the sand, very good in this format, he's been in this Kiwi team for, I would say, on 10, 12 years now, and one of their absolute best, and getting to the point of being probably one of their best of all time. Him to come in with injuries, the low tide, that's really going to hurt him when he gets towards the final, and you can see him just at the moment, safety first, walking his way up.
Yeah, you can really see that. Absolutely spot on. Good tip there, and that's an example of what was going on there. You can just see conserving. It is the semi-final. He's got a nice little lead out in front. There is a lot of potholes out there. So if you see the athletes looking like they're going slow, it's not because of that. It's because those potholes are deadly, and they don't want to take, as you said, their calf, foot, all those things. We'll see them definitely go faster in the finals, but for Corey out there, he's just trying to get through. As you said, it's all about getting these points for their team. So he's got his goggles around his neck there. So the order is swim, board, ski. So he'll just want to get through this, and I think for Corey at the moment, probably being on his ski is going to be the most comfortable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can see it definitely safety first. Up alongside Azawa from Japan there. A great start from our Japanese competitor there. Very good across the sand. Corey Fletcher from Australia goes in third place. Lombard and O'Neill from South Africa and the US of A aren't too far behind either. So we've got a group of about 6. That's Bobby Knuckles there. Robert Whittaker coming up to join that group of 6 out in front, and then this is where things start to get interesting. Just behind them, you're all trying to qualify for that final and get through. We can see the men starting to work their way through. That's a Spanish competitor, Sanchez, there starting to pick up his board and get in on the action, and our Belgian friend there in the Martin van Latham onto the board. So the boys are doing their best work. About halfway through this one now. Semi-final number 1 of the Ocean Man. Very, very tough action out there, and you can see the difference already that Corey Taylor and Azawa, our Japanese competitor, have made on the rest of the field. That is a good 50 to 60 metre gap.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And you can just see running into that transition there. The competitors are starting to look fatigued because of this M shape course. I can't say it enough. It is so difficult. It is, you're really stepping into skills. Heart rate is up, but it is also endurance, because you're going back and forth in between the sets and the waves. And also, to top it off, not only is it an M shape, but it's also a bank. So so for Corey Taylor, this probably isn't his ideal kind of format with the longer running, but he definitely won't let that stop him. As we just speak about Corey, he's just on a beautiful runner right there and doing so well that without let him stop him. But just having that bank, it's really going to come down to that fitness and how fit the competitors are at the end of August.
Yeah, and I think Corey Taylor, of all people, he's going to work hard in the water, and you can see how much he's made a massive break on those runners. That's literally 2 runners there, and he's blown this race wide open. He's going to work in the water. He's going to conserve on the land. He knows his calves aren't 100%, so he's going to really try and make the most of the parts that don't injure him there, and great skills on the way home. And it's a little you got 2 types of Ironman and Ocean Man formats there. You've got the traditional out around the cans, back in, or your M shape here. M shape at the World Championships, we love to see it. This is what it's all about, and it's just a little different. It goes from being about pure fitness to being about skills and your ability to negotiate the break. And skills pay the bills in this sport. Mistakes can be super costly, and when you times that by going through the break 3, 4, 5, 6 times on each leg, that makes it very, very important to get everything right.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Josh, and especially the ski as well. So we can just see Corey Taylor on screen, just taking nice and easily. He has a really big lead, so he can really just chill out, let his body rest a little bit. But yeah, definitely when you spoke about skills pay the bills, certainly with that northerly, and they're going to have to really get their ski and run a fair bit as well. So we'll definitely see those competitors. And I just had a thought, then actually skis last too. So carrying that ski for that last leg, it's going to come down to a lot of strength, and yet focusing on every single wave and making sure it's mistake-free. So it's up. Do you know, actually, the other event I really love is that Ocean Relay.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. They do the same course. Obviously, we have 4 competitors. We have the run, the board skiing, the swim. We have it mixed, 2 girls, 2 boys. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of the best events, and it's one of these sports, we talk about equality in sports around the world. There's not many, and we're starting to see it in maybe athletics and swimming, not many sports where men and women actually race against each other in a fair environment. And surf sports is one of those things that we've done it for a long time. We've had mixed double ski paddling in the past, and now we've got mixed Taplin relay, ocean man, ocean woman relay out there. And this is going to be one of the best events, and I think it'll continue to grow and grow and grow. It'll be really, really good. Ty Dowker is down on the beach. The handlers, they're starting to get the skis on the line and get them set for this final leg. Corey Taylor is absolutely blowing it apart.
He's been here before. He knows about going through the business. So it's top 12 that go through. But to me, the third leg is going to be the interesting leg. And if we just veer over here, you can see the craft that he's set up. Let's come over here to Corey Taylor's craft right here at the moment. And it's the actual length of the craft. So they'll try and angle the craft into the wind a little bit. Now, what's going to be challenging, you've got northeast winds that's coming from this direction that's going to hit the craft on the side. And it's going to make it very difficult to negotiate not only the wind as they're going out towards the ocean, but then front onto the swell as well. So I think all the drama is going to unfold in this next leg. We've also got to add into that, up there in the booth, guys, is fatigue. The third leg coming out. But more importantly, what about Akaza? What about from Japanese? He's sitting second at the moment, and the crowd here is starting to build and get electric. It's open Ocean Day 1, and it's up and about.
Thanks, Ty. Yeah, spot on there. It's going to come down to this last leg. A little runner for, I think, Corey Fletcher on the far side there. If anyone can find a wave, it is him. He's gone a long, long way to the right. Corey Taylor in the centre there, taking it very, very easy. And, well, this is the quality of a defending world champion. He's going past a couple of the other competitors who are still making their way in on that first board leg, and he's almost done. Bigger surf than we've seen all week down here at Kurrawa. I love this place. I think it's the ultimate location for a surf carnival, and it's the best location for the World Championships. We couldn't ask for much more. Small conditions by Australian standards, perfect conditions for a World Championships there, enough to test everybody. But the beach looks fantastic. Everyone's down here. The local community gets involved. They love it. It is almost perfect, and bring us back here every single year because I love this venue.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. And we just saw in the background the drone shot. We saw the boaties. They've got a few finals today there, so they're a little bit south of Kurrawa. And you look at the back, you can just see a little bit there, all the buildings, all the competitors, all the teams, officials, coaches, everyone stays on the beach there. Yep. So they wake up, see the sun come up. It's perfect. There's endless amounts of accommodation. The beach, the sand, and even where the beachies were competing the youth yesterday, it's just perfect.
And with Brisbane 2032 coming up, obviously the Olympic bid for surf sports in there, and this is one of the events that the bid's been made with, along with the Ocean Relay later on. This has got to be the venue. You like to think that an Olympic Games right here, if we get a shot at it, we will put our best foot forward and it'll be absolutely fantastic. Corey Fletcher grabs his ski and heads on in, still in fourth place at the moment, taking it very, very easy. He knows he's good enough to get himself through to this final, and it's the Japanese man, Akawa, there. And I think Tommy O'Neill's worked his way up from the US as well. They're doing a fantastic job, the Americans. He has done a great job sitting in third. Fletcher in fourth at the moment. Corey Taylor out in front. It's been difficult so far this week to get a gauge on how each of these nations are going to go in a couple of these events. This is our first thing. Kiwis, they look fit. They look fired up. They had a couple of DQs in the pool yesterday. I think they would have liked to have been a few more points in front of the Australians. I think they're only 1 point in front of the Australians. We'll get a confirmation on that. And they're a few behind the Italians who are leading at the moment. But they would have been like to have been a few more in there, but they've got a really, really good Kiwi team. Corey Taylor, Joey Collins, Olivia Corrin, 3 of the absolute best in the sport leading them.
Yeah, that's it. Wow, when you hear those names, that is certainly a lineup and a half. And we know there's a big rivalry there, New Zealand versus Australia. It's been like that every single World Championship, so we'll definitely see that go down. But a place that we found that was Ty and I yesterday was really tactical was the beach flags.
Yeah,
so we had a look, and actually New Zealand, they actually only put one competitor in. I think it might have been either men or the female, because they wanted to make up their athletes in other places. So it was really, really interesting. So we'll see what New Zealand and Australia are going to do in the beach flags. I mean, we won't put, obviously Corey Taylor won't be having that spot because of his car, but he's very, very fast. Corey Fletcher, love to see him in that beach flags. We know he's been a state champion that when he was younger. So I think that's going to be maybe a very tactical area that these two teams are going to try and make up those extra points.
And one of those events where some of the nations that we don't normally see in Australian surf sports really come to the fore. The Egyptians, they absolutely fly on the sand. They won both the beach relays at the last World Championships. They come to win beach events, and nobody's been better than them in the last couple of years here at the World Champs. So I'm excited to see what they can produce. And running is one of those things where it is the true global sport. Anyone can do it anywhere. You don't need a beach. You can find some sand, and it's relatively similar. So that's where it gets super competitive, and I cannot wait to see these beach sprint finals and the beach flag finals later in the day, because the mix of nations is something special. We saw the Japanese men do well at the Australian Championships on the Sunshine Coast, taking out the beach flags, and I think they had 3 in the top 6 overall there. So they're very, very good at what they do. And when we get to those beach sprint, beach flags, beach relay finals, that is where things get ultra competitive and where it becomes a truly global sport. And like you said, it becomes tactical for those nations trying to win the overall point score, but it becomes the time to shine for a couple of these countries.
Can you imagine being in Egypt and running around the pyramids?
Plenty of sand out there.
It'd be fantastic. It'd be the best beach training in the world. It'd be remarkable.
And we had the World Championships in Egypt not too long ago. Yeah, there, and one of the most beautiful bodies of water in there, the Mediterranean, and we're headed back there for the next World Championships, Morocco. So if you're watching today, you think, no, this is for me. Morocco in 2026 is the next World Championships. I would love to be there, that is for sure. It is one of those places on the bucket list you always would like to go.
I know why you want to go.
There's a little bit of surfing, little adventure out there, that's for sure.
Is it the Dead Sea? Is that
for
your skin? I know that's why you want to go.
I just want to go to the Mediterranean and have a blast.
You want to get the glow.
Out there. That is for sure. And I look forward to it without a shadow of a doubt. It'll be very, very good. Our leaders make their way out for the final time on the men's Ocean Man ski leg there, the final leg, swim, aboard, ski, the order all weekend for these competitors. It's a set order. We don't draw it anymore, but it's good to see Corey Taylor. I think he sort of tried to blow the cobwebs out of this one this morning and really have a crack and try and sort of break this race up, get the heart rate up and make himself feel really good. And if you have a good race to start, you get confident early on, and the defending World Ocean Man champion is certainly showing why out here in semi-final number 1.
Look, I think he's doing the right thing being out in front like that. It is a very good warm-up.
Yeah.
When you wake up, they've been racing, as you said, Josh, earlier, that they have been racing in the pool for the last couple of days. A lot of lactic acid, they need recovery. Even if they've only done a couple of races, it's still racing. It's still going flat out. You're still at the pool. You're still at the sun. So for Corey being out here in front, I think he's doing the right thing. He's letting a bit of the cobwebs, get out of his body so he can make sure that he is ready to go for that final. So what he's doing good, and he's also setting himself up. He's going, hey guys, I'm here. I want to win this, and I think that's a really good. He's not intimidating the other athletes, but he's kind of showing them that I'm fit.
Yeah.
Just because, you might have heard that my calf's not been good, but I'm still damn good.
I don't know how many people know about his calves, but
okay, everyone does now.
We've blown it out of the water now. Robbie Whittaker coming up alongside him. Not someone we've spoken about a whole lot so far. 5th place at the last World Championships in this event, racing for Great Britain, but he spent a lot of time out here at Oz. We call him Bobby Knuckles because it's the nickname of a famous Australian MMA fighter by the same name, Robert Whittaker, great MMA fighter, and Bobby Knuckles there has done a great job. He spent a lot of time out here, summer surf events, doing the Aussie titles, that sort of thing. He's a fan favourite as well, that is for sure. And 5th place last time at the World Championships, he will be in the mix again, and somebody who could really sort of mess things up for the Kiwis and the Australians and the Italians who are trying to get that top of the point score. He can take a lot of points off them because he will finish very high up in a lot of events out here.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a given that you're going to have New Zealand and Australia. We've seen that. It's incredible. It's incredible. We say Bobby. Is it Bobby?
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, Robert, Bobby. We're going to be Bobby.
Yeah.
But Great Britain, France, Japan, they've all been in there and getting very, very good. And their skills have come a long, long way. I heard some of the South Africans saying they love the wind. They get it every single day. They have wind whenever they race. So they felt really confident, and then we saw them pick up a few medals yesterday out in front. So it's it's not a given. Just because we're here on Australian soil doesn't mean Australians and New Zealanders are going to come through the top. So they're going to have to work incredibly hard, but it's all about the process. As we just see Corey Fletcher just taking it nice and easy, also setting himself up. He'll have a really, really big program, as we said before, Ocean and Beach today. So it's a big couple of days, and it's really going to be testing that fitness out. But we've got Ty probably wouldn't be too far away from giving us an interview with your favourite man on the
Bobby
sand.
Knuckles.
Yeah, Rob Whittaker down here, guys, and obviously, mate, great support as well. I know over here they're going crazy. There they are, getting up and about. And this is what it's all about. Obviously, it's individual racing in the Ocean Man event here, but it's about the team as well. But first event on the Ocean here, mate, must be good to get a good one away.
Yeah, keen to get one under my belt and just get warmed up into the ocean because the conditions out there are pretty tricky, pretty different to back home, but good fun to be racing.
Spoke about conditions back home as well. You've had some great success over there as well in the Euro Series, and obviously the British and the French as well, but also had a bit of experience here in Australia in the last 12 to 18 months as well. Yeah,
definitely had a good season back home off the back of coming out here for 6-7 months training with Northcliffe and doing the Aussie Champs and that kind of thing. So feeling good, and like I say, lucky to have been sort of experienced these conditions for 6 months because it's definitely an advantage to come here on race day.
So it's a little bit of club championships, is it, with you and CT there representing New Zealand and Great Britain from both from the Northcliffe Club. Great experience, but obviously yesterday we had two great days in the pool, but very unfortunate for our club mate there from Great Britain with Tommy Treblecock as well, suffering an injury yesterday.
Yeah, real shame, just on the finish, touching the wall too hard, going too hard for the team, but our sort of gun surf swimmers out for the rest of the comp, which has been a bit unfortunate. So we've all had to sort of sub in. I did a few pool events yesterday and Piran, our ski paddlers down here doing the Ironman, so we're all sort of banding together, hoping to do the best for him. So hopefully wish him well for recovery. Yeah,
we do wish him well, but more importantly, the team of Great Britain. You're up and about, great vibe, great team support behind you for these next 2 days.
Yeah, definitely. We all got down here a nice week and a half early, and so we're all feeling good. We've had a bit of time to get used to the conditions, and hopefully we can get behind each other and put out some good results.
Well, this afternoon we have the Ocean Man final. Best of luck, and best of luck to Great Britain the next 2 days.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
What a man there. Robert Whittaker wins semi-final number 1 of the Ocean Man. Corey Taylor from New Zealand in second. Corey Fletcher of Australia in third. We didn't talk about him much, but Tizamale from France in fourth place. Azawa from Japan. Noah Lombard from South Africa. Wilkov of Germany. Loki of Italy in eighth. Tommy O'Neill faded a little bit to finish in ninth place across the line there. Of course, if you want to catch all the heat action, all the results, every place from every race, head to liveheats.com, search the 2024 Lifesaving World Championships there, and you can catch every result from every area as well. The boat action, the Masters, it's all happening. National teams, obviously, the last couple of days and this weekend. We'll head into inter-club action throughout the next week, both youth and, of course, the open stuff there. I'm looking forward to that one. That is really where it's at. Dalsgaard from Denmark across the line in 10th. Judine, the Canadian. Go the Canadians. I have a couple of Canadian children and a Canadian wife, so they're a team that's very close to my heart there, and I'll be supporting them all weekend long, that is for sure. He finishes in 11th place, and I think he might have just missed out on the final there. So heat number 1 off and away of the Ocean Man. We've got 2 semi-finals. Then we'll be in the Ocean Woman action as well. Not too far after that, the surf races for both women and men, the beach relays, and then the Ocean Man relays. So not a lot of events this morning, but big events as well. These ones where you'd like to think they're the best athletes. If you're doing the Ocean Man, Ocean Woman, you're probably the best athletes in your team. And then you go those Ocean Man, Ocean Woman relays, and that's your guns. You bring everybody, your best swimmer, your best board paddler, your best ski paddler, your best runner, 4-man teams, 4-woman teams out there. That is for sure. And we take a look at the highlights. It was Corey Fletcher who led early. Azawa from Japan really swam well as well. Faded a little bit, but not too bad. And then Robert Whittaker built into that one very, very nicely. Ty Dowker's found somebody else down on the beach as well. And I don't know if Ty's on his knees or what, but there is a big, big boy with him.
Mate, it is unbelievable down here. He's an absolute man. And Ronnie, Wrong guards from Denmark, but what about this? Not only is he representing Denmark, but he's also competed the Masters in the pool events as well and picked up 3 gold medals. He's a man mountain, but mate, what a great moment being here representing Denmark on the big stage of the world titles.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm also representing Manly actually, so we moved to Manly just 3 years ago. So starting to get more and more into the surf. It was a bit challenging the conditions today. A good sweep, but took it easy on the swim and the board, and then the ski I managed to get up a few paces, so that was good.
Managed to get out and get in the ski. We probably said of the 3 disciplines, probably the ski's the most challenging today.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's sometimes when you see the set come through, there's some okay, decent size, even for Australia. it's for the Australians, it's probably not nothing, but for all the Europeans, this is much bigger than what we're used to in most of Europe. So it's definitely challenging for the most of the field, I think.
Well, it's a World Championships, guys, and there are so many great stories on the beach, all the way from Denmark. Masters competitor as well, resides in Manly, up and about. And what about the size of him? He's a man mountain. Back to you guys.
Oh, I think he's the Great Dane. Down there, the big fella. Ronnie Dalsgaard there. He is, I think, through to the finals. So great performance from him there. So the Italians, the Danes, US, Germany, Italy, South Africa, Japan, France, Oz, NZ and GB all have won into the Ocean Man final later this afternoon. This is semi-final number 2 coming up now. Plenty of big guns in this one and some of the most experienced national team racers from these ones. This one is going to be very, very good. A mix of youth and experience. Brian Murphy from the United States, I think it's his 6th World Championships representing the US. He's a Huntington Beach lifeguard. He's come out here. He was in the Kellogg Nutrigrain Ironman series not too long ago. That's him closest to screen there, just having a laugh. The most experienced US athlete. He has done it at every level, in every event, on every continent around the world. And it'll be interesting to see how he goes here. He said he had the family out with him and he was enjoying his time out here. He'd spent a bit of time training in Australia. So watch for the man, Brian Murphy, the original... Well, I'm not going to say Mitch Buchanan from Baywatch, but he's as close as you get, that is for sure there. So watch for the US competitor. Another one from Spain, Carlos Alonso Ruiz, who spent a lot of time out here in Australia as well racing. He's done a fantastic job in the past and been part of this Spanish team for a long, long time. So a good mix of youth and experience in semi-final number 2. A few nerves on the face. That's Cyril Senfen from Switzerland there. Rocking a great mo and a couple of nice tough stickers there, so we like to see it. Our Argentinian friend down at the bottom, and already a few of the men who are out. So our Senegalese Ironman Nadoy Sao, he is out. Our Norwegian Voxoy, he's out as well, and Tish from Germany will not start either. So Senegalese, the Norwegian and the German not putting their foot on the line, so it makes life a little bit easier for these gentlemen. That is the man who I think is the red-hot favourite for this one, Joe Collins. He is, if not the best Ironman in the world on his day, he definitely is, and he's going to have a really, really good time. The Irish competitor there as well, fired up and ready to go. My team, the Canadians out there, that's Jacob Meese. Good-looking cap as well. Love their work. So it's good to see the different colours. The boys look a little bit nervous on the line, but they're fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, they certainly are. They can see some of them licking the goggles just to make sure they're nice and clear, because out there the sun is actually shining really bright. It looks really sprinkly and sparkly for all of us looking on, but for competitors to see Brian, he was just having a good look where the can was. It's actually very, very tricky to see. So they'll clean their goggles or not wear goggles. But one thing about Brian, I trained with him a long, long time ago when I just moved to the Gold Coast. He was actually here, and he can talk underwater.
Oh, yeah.
And they are off for a start. So here they go. So you see a couple of the competitors running down to that north. As we said, it's a little bit of a shallower bank, and they're just trying to watch those potholes and just set themselves up as well for that sweep. So that northerly sweep is very, very strong, as we saw before. You can see the flags really, really blowing quite aggressively. But I agree with you, Joe Collins, you saw him last year. It wasn't his breakout season, definitely not. He's been very, very good for many years, but he just got pipped multiple times by Ali Day, and he had it in him. It was just kind of little mistakes that unfortunately happened that really just cost him to get that second place, which is absolutely no mean feat, but he is a racer and he wants to win. So I'm really excited to watch him race this year.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. Very close. The two men who went all the way to that left-hand side, that was Zach Morris of Australia and Carlos Alonso Ruiz of Spain. He's the man on the far right-hand side. He might have gone a little bit too far there, so we'll wait and see. He'll sort of work into this one in terms of the board and ski, that is for sure. Out in front, Australia and New Zealand. But I'll run you through the start list here. Brian Murphy from the USA, he was in one. Chua Hao En from Singapore. Christian Davidson from Lifesaving South Africa. Ryan Cotter of Ireland, he's in the mix as well. That Irish cap looks like the Irish flag. Senfin from Switzerland, Richter from the Czech Republic, Ruiz from Spain, Mies from Canada, Matitz from Austria, Morris and Collins, Australia and New Zealand. Van Hoften of the Netherlands, Kuisters from Belgium, Phillips from GB. We just heard he's a ski paddler, not traditionally an Ironman or an Ocean Man competitor. He's making it up. That's what you do. Lebrun No from France, Gansberg from Sweden, Sanchez Belazia from Argentina. That is the field. We've got 3 do not starts and 1 man out in front on a wave, and that is who we spoke about. You were spot on, Courtney Hancock. It was just the bridesmaid, never the bride for Joey Collins. He came so close so many times, and it'd be one mistake or one freak effort that had put him back into second place. And if there's no Ali Day, he wins almost everything all summer long, but he's just had to deal with it so far, and I think he's getting better year on year. He had an absolute breakout year his first season at the top level, came back the second year and it wasn't what he wanted. Second year syndrome, he sort of fell off a little bit, but last year, his third year at the top, he was back to his best, and I think we're going to see more of the same. Very good across the sand, quick off the beach, got great skills. I think this really suits him and the man out in front at the moment, with the man we can see on the right-hand side of the screen, Zach Morris. He's got speed to burn, and when you've got a bank like this and speed to burn, he's going to set every single race up almost perfectly.
Yeah, certainly look out for Zach. You're spot on. He really sets his races up very, very well. He's so fast, and we saw him last year. He won the Queensland Ironman title. He took out the Australian board title as well. So he's really setting his resume up very, very well. And also one thing I noticed about Zach going, off last season, he led. He was out in front multiple times. So the fact that he's done that, he's really got that confidence of being a leader. You find some athletes don't actually like leading, but he does. So the more and more he keeps putting himself in front, I guess that's going to be not great for other athletes, because he'll get himself in front, he'll get that wave, and he'll just keep extending out. So very, very quick across not only the sand, but also the water as well. And his training partner right behind him there, Joe Collins. Yeah, the other interesting thing for the Australians and the Kiwis, basically all train together, or a lot of them train at these big clubs there. Your Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, your Surfers Paradise, your Northcliffe, from down in New South Wales, your Newports, your Manleys. There's some really big clubs that when you get to this representative level, a lot of them come from those programs. So in the last one, we had Corey Taylor and Robert Whittaker, training partners for a long time, crossing the line together, 2 different caps, 2 different countries, but that's what it's all about. And here's the same, Zachy Morris, Joey Collins, both part of that Northcliffe program just down the road here, and it'll be interesting to see 2 different tactics. They've got the same coach, but it looks like Zach Morris has decided he's really going to blow this one out early. Joey Collins maybe building into it a little bit more, and it's about how much you've done over the last couple of days, how you feel this morning, whether you think you need a blowout, but you've got to be fired up and ready to go somewhere around 1 o'clock this afternoon, because that is where those points are handed out. They're not racing for individual titles. You win this one this afternoon, you're not the world champion. You've just got maximum points for your nation. Absolutely, and as we said that, we've just got a competitor joining. It could be France just going off the caps there, but we'll have a look in a second. And Zach Morris, beautiful body surfing out there in front there. Joe Collins just tapping onto that front wave, and we'll see who the third competitor is at the moment. But they're just taking it easy. They've got those potholes, having a little chat. They're very close mates, as you said before, Josh. They train together, so they want to get through, and they would have had a really big 2 days in the pool. They're both very good pool swimmers as well, especially Zach. He's very quick, very speedy, so he would have been a very great asset for the Australian team to have him in the pool as well. So they both look really good. They look really fit as well. I mean, it's the last day of winter today, so I guess considering all these athletes after their titles back in April, this is not our summer, so they've really had to push themselves to get fitter a lot earlier than what they have every other year. Yeah, most of the athletes coming off that Australian Championships would have had a break. They would have sort of taken 6 weeks off, 4 weeks off, come back a little bit earlier than they would have.
the beauty for the internationals is that they get to go, well, straight through their season and come straight to the Australian Championship. So third place there, it is the Frenchman, No LeBron there. And then in fourth place, that is our South African competitor there, Christian Davidson. So he's done a great job as well. Strong swims from both those men. They've set themselves up here. And from there on out, I think it's about just managing the expectations and managing themselves around and through that final. Senfen there from the Swiss team. He's going around, and Van Hoften from the Netherlands makes his way onto the board. So you set your race up early, you take the pressure off ever so slightly, you work your way through, and that's the key to that racing. That's Senfen there from Switzerland. Landlocked nation, but they get out here, and let's see how he goes in these waves. I don't know where he does his training out of, and there's a couple of beautiful lakes there in Switzerland, so a lot of his work probably in there. We'll see how he manages this swell and tricky conditions. We spoke to a couple of the guys on the beach before, and the nature of that northerly coming through, the cross chop and all that just makes things a little bit harder.
Yeah, it definitely does. It really, I guess your body feels a bit more fatigued than what you would if it was kind of a bit more flatter and everything like that. So we'll have some sore bodies. Fatigue will hit a little bit earlier. It is a big day, so the management in between of food, hydration, recovery, big nights to sleep, which would actually be really tricky as well because you're in a team environment. So it's very exciting. So it's they've got a lot to manage this week. But I have to just comment that Zach Morris is on a pink board. I'm very impressed. I have been waiting for many, many years for a male ocean Ironman to be on a pink board. And I think, do we have the moment right now?
I think he's loving it.
I didn't see his ski. So Zach, you got to lift. You've got to make sure the ski matches.
He's a sensitive new age guy. We saw Koisters come around from Belgium, and he gave a little cheer as he got round. I don't know, but I think it was more like, oh, thank God I survived that one there, because it's a long swim and probably a longer race than some of these Ocean Man competitors have ever done before. And it starts to play into those endurance athletes who've really done the work, because it ends up being a good 20 minutes of racing, and that's what we love to see. In and out of the break, plenty of lead changes, and first and second, they've cracked one. Third and fourth pushing on the way home as well. Very, very strong. And the French have surprised me over the last couple of days. They've got a great culture of surf sports in France. They have a great European Championships there, great. And for a long time, they've been super competitive. But I'd forgotten just how good they were when it came to the surf stuff. We know they've had a rich history in the pool. We know they're very, very good. But the French in the surf have been fantastic so far across the Masters competition, the youth competition, and even this morning, very, very good. Picking up a third in that first semi-final. They're sitting in third again here. They're really pushing to be on that podium in the overall national teams competition, aren't they?
Do you think that potentially having the Olympics, they're feeling a little bit of, not national a little
pride.
bit, inspiration,
and
that sniff of, potentially being a part of the Olympics. I think it definitely gives you a lift, and I certainly know for myself watching the Olympics over the last few weeks, and now going to the Paralympics, it makes you feel incredibly inspired, and everyone's, sport brings happiness. So everyone's talking about sport, everyone's happy. We know we're not talking about, there's obviously things happening in the world when you turn on the news that aren't so happy, but when the Olympics is on, it's just this great buzz. So I feel having our World Championships over these next 10 days, having this off the back of that, it is the perfect time, and I feel like this is such great energy.
And if the IOC's watching the live stream at home, I'm sure they are, but I don't think there's a sport that epitomises the Olympic spirit of, look, it's about global humanity and the life-saving aspect of our sport. It just ties into it so perfectly out there, because it's more than just a sport, it's a movement. And we have some of the best athletes in the world. I think 20 of the Australian team were at the Olympic Games, were from a surf sports background. And then you've got thousands of other athletes who are involved in one way or another. Fabry, the Iron Woman from France, she's been to the Olympic Games. Taylor Spivey got a silver medal in triathlon for the Americans. She's been at the World Championships before. Lisa Carrington. possibly the greatest kayaker of all time. She's come from surf sports as well. This sport is, well, it's that global humanity and that spirit we have. And people say, oh, it's just an Australian or New Zealand sport. It's not. We've got something like 60 nations competing here, landlocked nations from Africa, landlocked nations from Europe coming and getting it done. And it's not just your Ocean Man events, even though that is the pinnacle of it. If you're watching at home and you're wondering how and why, that's how and why. It's a life-saving movement, and that's what the Olympics are about. And coming off the back of Paris, we're going to showcase what we've got. We're going to put our name up and a hand up and say we want to be involved in that as well. If you can do breakdancing, if you can do flag football, we've got something better, and get us involved, because we will show you what we've got on the global stage every 4 years. And that's the sales pitch they're putting ahead with. I don't think we're not in LA in 2028, but Brisbane 2032. There is not a better set of circumstances for us to make our jump into the games and then prove ourselves when we get there.
Oh, well said, Josh. Yes, that was. I've got my spine's tingling after you were saying everything that you did just then. It's so true, and it would be phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, especially as you said, Brisbane 2032, and. Yeah. And just also for our sport, the young guns coming through, the youth, just to look forward to potentially, getting a spot and calling themselves an Olympian, it'd be fantastic. And as we see talking about stars, they are not future stars, they are stars right now, and that is Zach Morris and Joe Collins just going out. There's one thing I want to mention about this M-shaped course that just makes it even more difficult again. They have to go around all cans. So when they're going out for their first leg, all cans on the north, so they can't chop in if they want to get a nice runner and cut through. They've got to make sure they go all around, as well as a mirror image on the other side to the south. So it's really, really, we're talking about being really aware and being focused, even though they aren't going as fast as their final right now. They still have to make sure they're focusing, concentrating, and as we just see, oh, look at that. That is the power of Kurrawa. We've seen the best of the best get absolutely smashed here. I've seen many boards and skis being snapped in half here, and that's just showcasing how tough it is.
LeBrun there making his way in for France there. He'll have no dramas through those waves, that's for sure. Joey Collins sneaks away from Zach Morris there. That one wave that came through cleaned up one of the competitors in the background. I think that was the Czech paddler there, Richter. He got absolutely hammered on the way going out on the board. But Joey Collins snuck through. Zach Morris got hit going through transition. That's Phillips from Great Britain. He'll be happy to get onto the ski at the moment. A noted ski paddler, not the best Ironman or Ironman competitor, but he's had to jump in because of the injuries in his team. That's him making his way down there. He looks like a ski paddler. Have a look at the shoulders on him. Very, very strong lad, and I think he'll work his way through this one very, very well. He's done a great job so far to manage that one. On to the final leg. Swim, board, ski, run is the order all weekend long for the Ocean Man, Ocean Woman, and Ocean Man and Ocean Woman relays as well. That's Carlos Alonso there, Ruiz making his way in onto the ski. He knows he's sitting comfortable at the moment, just conserving a little bit of energy. We can see the rest of the field still making their way in on the board, and they've done a good job so far. The swell, super tricky out there. I went out and had a swim this morning. It's coming from all over the place. It's not breaking consistently. If you get a run, you'll sneak all the way through. If you get hammered, it just continues to belt you. And you can see the disappointment from the young lad. I think that's our Argentinian friend there. Sanchez Balazia there. He has really had a tough day out there. Hugs all round. He's done a great job representing the Argentinians so far, and no disrespect out there because it is very, very tough.
Oh, it is, and you can see the emotion, and it's just, it's really heartbreaking because today out here, and it doesn't look as tough on TV as when you actually get down there on the beach. Yeah, get down there in the water. We can just see the flags, how aggressive they're blowing there, and it is the wind, the water movement, and the swell out there. There's a lot of the competitors that have come over here, and they generally will come out to their beach and it'll be dead flat. Yeah. So for them to get out here and to even put themselves on the line and have a crack is really inspiring, and it's absolutely incredible. So congratulations, Argentina there. It's okay. It's really, really tough. And just to be here and have a go and try, that's what it's all about.
I don't know about you, Courtney, but I've not finished a lot of iron races in the past when I've been absolutely smacked. So it's not something that you like to see, but it's something that happens to everyone, and you learn and get better and go again. Van Hoften, Mies and Senfant from Switzerland, Canada and the Netherlands were making their way onto the ski. They're sitting really tight on that bubble there to qualify through to the final, so they're going to really have to get a wriggle on if they want to get themselves through to the final. Tight racing for those final spots. We can see them just at the bottom of the screen there as our leaders start to go past. That is really the cutoff zone at the moment. The Canadians, the Swiss, the Netherlands are sitting in there as well, so that's your top 10 starting to battle it out. I think all those men are comfortable, but only just.
Yeah, they're going to have to really get moving here, because as we know with the ski, a lot can happen out there. With that water movement, it's very easy also to nosedive and pop your ski into that sand, because it is very shallow there. So we're really coming to as you can see, some of the competitors are on their first, and then we see we've got Joe Collins and Zach Morris are actually on their second. So they're almost finished, done and dusted. They'll get in quite easily. And then we've also got, I'm loving the split screen. It's fantastic. Yeah. The technology got here with the drone. And as we just see on screen there, we've got another competitor from France going out there as well. He's looking very, very strong, looking really good. And by the time they get to this stage of the Ocean Man, fatigue is really stepping in. And this is where mistakes come in more so than the start of the race. So if you're seeing a competitor, maybe going sideways or doing that kind of thing, it's because of that fatigue. And in our sport, you have to be so fit to be here. So much running, so much ski paddling, board, swim, gym, throwing Pilates, throwing yoga. There's plenty of things you can do. So fittest athletes in the world right here on screen. Yeah,
that was Lebrun there from the French team working his way. The race is on to get, you don't get anything out of getting the win apart from just a little shot of confidence and send a message to the other nations that I can get it done. And Joey Collins is on fire. So far of these two semi-finals, I'd say the Kiwi men have looked the best. The Australians and the French, they're not far behind. The British boys are doing a fantastic job, but here comes Zachy Morris as well. You can see those swells running from the bottom of the screen to top. That's kind of your northeast direction to your southwest direction. That wind is forcing it to run a little bit across the beach there. Great skills from Morris. Cuts off the back of that one. He's going to paddle over the top of that one. Clint Robinson style there. Joey Collins, a little smile on the face, and here comes Zachy Morris, pink ski as well, Court. I know you're a big fan. Love their work there. No dramas for Australia, no dramas for New Zealand. They'll hand off their gear to the handlers there, trotted up and around, book themselves a spot in the Ocean Man final this afternoon. It's the Lifesaving World Championships for 2024, event number 1 of the beach national teams off and away. We've booked our men into the final, and that one's going to be an absolute cracker this afternoon.
Oh, that one's going to be tough, isn't it? I was just thinking exactly the same thing, just watching them both come through there. It's going to be, and it's really tricky actually too. You see Kev Morrison, he's the coach of the New Zealand team, obviously handling for Joe Collins. Also, when he's on Australian shores, he is also Zach Morris's coach there, but Zane Hemmel, he is the coach of the Australian team, who is coach of Surfers Paradise. So he'll be looking after Zach. Kev will be looking after Joe out there. So it's going to be a really, really hot, and everyone, not only are they racing for themselves to get that crown, the most important, everyone is thinking about those points for their team. They're racing for their country.
I think that for them is more important. They would rather see them and their countrymen go first and second than getting the win themselves.
Absolutely.
It's all about points here. There's no sort of real prize for winning that Ocean Man title. You get a gold medal, but the points are more valuable than gold here because you want your nation to be crowned the world champion. Lebrun in third place there. He's done a fantastic job, and I haven't heard much about him. I haven't seen much of his racing, but that was very impressive there to be not too far behind Joey Collins, and to be honest, to be ahead of a couple of guys I rate pretty highly, the likes of Brian Murphy. I think we've got a star of the future here and a man on the rise, and looks the part, big, strong, long arms there, and he's come out, and the French boys and girls have come to party. That is for sure. They've been very, very good so far. Here's Brian Murphy, safety first for the experienced man, throws the leg over and just cruises down. Phillips from Great Britain wasn't supposed to do this event, but the injury to Cockburn in the pool has forced his hand, and that's what you do as part of the national team's event. You just fill in where you can. You do the best that you can for your nation. It's not about individual glory. It's about the most points, and the British will come over the next couple of days. They will fire up and they'll start to climb that ladder, and they'll be super competitive. So here comes Brian Murphy as well, Mr. Huntington Beach, Mr. USA Surf Sports, and one of the nicest guys anywhere on the sand, and he's got himself through to the final as well.
Yeah, he'll be super happy about that. We know he's got so much great passion, Brian. He came over here and did the series. He was just absolutely loving it, and he'd be definitely a hero, not only here but back home as well. So representing the USA, very, very strong. And we're counting out the numbers now. We might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 coming through. So they'll be starting to figure out, am I through? Here we have our South African. Yeah,
South African, or maybe our Irish competitor as well. As Brian said to me this morning, he said the Americans didn't have the day they wanted in the pool yesterday. He said they had a lot of sort of 18th place or 17th place, just missing finals, just missing points, and that's not what they wanted, but they were fired up, and this is where they really come to shine. So it'll be good to see. That is our South African competitor, Davidson there, Christian Davidson from South Africa, crosses the line. Great job there, and not far behind him was Ruiz from Spain. So that's 6 and 7. Here come a couple more of those boys starting to work their way back in. Nice little wave, leans back, he's going sideways, got a paddle. That's Carlos Alonso Ruiz from Spain working his way up and around. Another one of the very experienced lads we spoke about at the start of this one, and he'll get himself through to the final. He's done everything that was required. Senfen from Switzerland there, great paddle from him as well. He was right on the edge heading into that final leg. He's got himself through to the final. He'll be up in 8th place and around. A fantastic performance there. Good job by all these competitors to get themselves through. That is the Ocean Man semi-finals run and done. We've got ourselves a final set for this afternoon, and you'll see all the action right here on the live stream. And if you're watching from Australia, SBS as well. Live on TV this afternoon. We love to see it.
Yeah, that is going to be super exciting. I love we can catch all the action, even if you can't get here. It doesn't matter, because you can certainly look, listen and feel. But we've also, as you said, the man on the sand, Ty, he's with one of our favourites, Brian Murphy.
Yeah, thanks, Courtney. What about this? It's all about stories, and I'll throw a few numbers to you. 40 years of age, 2 children. His last 41. His last USA team was 10 years ago in 2014. But Brian Murphy, mate, you've done it all in surf sports in USA, but welcome back to the big stage.
It's so good to be here. I definitely feel like home here, and it's great to see all the familiar faces. And unfortunately, most of them are all coaching now. But no, it's good. I think having my kids here, my family here has been awesome. And like you said, I haven't done this in 10 years, but no, I feel great.
Mate, you feel great, you look great. You're an LA County lifeguard as well, and the importance of your surf skills, for one, being a lifeguard in LA County. You're part of that team as well, but super important is it to stay fit for the job you do back at home.
Absolutely. I can think of a handful of rescues where someone might not be alive if it hadn't been for all the training that I've done here. It's just an incredible opportunity to train here at the highest level in the toughest conditions in the world, and then take it home to LA County and share that with the team back home. It's been 20 plus years of me doing that, and I'm so grateful and thankful for my time down here.
I think you've won double figures in national board race champions. You've won iron champions as well. What do you love about surf sports and lifesaving in general?
The people. It's all about the people. Everything you do in life, it's all about the people. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter what you do. It's who you're with. And I think that's the most important thing in life, because those are the things you're going to carry forever. You can stay at a hotel, great, but when you're here staying with friends that feel like family, that's everything.
Mate, you're 40 years of age in the Ocean Man final this afternoon. It's all about connectiveness. He's a great human, all the way from the US. Best of luck, mate. Rip in.
Thanks, guys.
One of the good men of surf sports around the world, that is for sure. Brian Murphy, unbelievable. What a career. He's an actor as well. He's a great man, and there wouldn't be a more popular and more positive man on the beach. He is having a blast wherever he is and whatever he is doing. Conditions really picking up down there, making things difficult, aren't they, Court? They were tough semi-finals for the men, weren't they? And the ladies aren't too far away.
They were super tough, and you see the ladies, yeah, you're right, looking on and just trying to pick up some little tips out there and just have a look at the conditions. As we can see, a competitor has just lost his ski coming in there, and it's very, very, very tricky. And once that wind pops up, as we know on the Gold Coast, it really, really comes in. And we just have a look. We'll just check out the replay and go through all the fun and the action that we just saw just a moment ago.
Yeah, semi-final number 2 of the Ocean Man. We saw a few of the boys decide to go all the way to the right-hand side or the northern end as you look at the arena. Zachy Morris led early. Joe Collins built into it. The French did a fantastic job, as did the Brits. And it was, well, I don't know how much you can take from that one from the top 2 men, but for the rest of the field, there's a couple of guys I'm very, very excited about heading into this final, and I think there's a few of them that could play spoiler. I don't know if we're going to see anything but an Australian or Kiwi winner, but there's 5 or 6 men who can finish in the top 10 who'll be very competitive, and I am excited about this race. I really, really cannot wait to see this final this afternoon. It's one of the events I'm looking forward to all weekend long. Oh, a little bit of back and forward, push and shove. I thought Joey Collins and Kev Morris were dancing for a second there, and you can see the smiles on their face. They were doing it very, very comfortably.
Well, this is where you learn, isn't it? You learn for the final, you do those things, so Kev will be like, I am staying out of the way next time. And you also saw that, actually, Joe just had a little bit of hydration. Very, very smart. He knows it's a long course, and not only has he have to get through this race, he's got the whole day to get through, and also tomorrow as well. So I think seeing that, he's thinking about not only now, but he's also thinking about the future to make sure his body is ready to go.
Yeah, great skills from both these men on the way home. That was semi-final number 2 of the Ocean Man. The Ocean Women coming up next, and we've had a bit of a change in the program. Ty Dowker, talk to us about what's happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's drama aplenty. I'd say safety never takes a holiday, and that's also in competition. So what's happened is our southern arena, where we just had the Ocean Man, it's actually with that northeast wind, it's pushing a lot of the craft into the boat arena. So it's been a great decision by the officials. They're going to move from the southern arena up to the northern arena for the Ocean Women, but they're also going to go back to a traditional course. So it's a rectangular course. They'll lead with, for the female event of the Ocean Women, they will go back to the M shape for the final. So safety, paramount, as with anything in Lifesaving, moving the course north, staying a format of the rectangular traditional format, but they will be back for the Ocean Man and Ocean Woman final in an M-shaped course later on today.
We love it, Ty, there. It looks like, mate, the wind might be getting a little bit stronger as well as the day goes on. It's really starting to blow.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's quite interesting because the tide's starting to drop as well. And we spoke about this morning, and you know, we looked at yesterday, and Courtney and myself were in the booth yesterday, and the conditions, I probably rated the conditions yesterday probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. Today, with that increase in that northeast wind, and an increase in swell up to 1.3 metres, it's probably about a 7 or an 8 now. So skills pay the bills, and what I love about these conditions is, you know, they've come from the pool arena, where pretty much your fastest person wins. In these conditions, you've got the nounce as well, so the ability to be smart and race fast to get the overall result. We've got some cracking finals coming up later on today, but more importantly this morning, it's all about qualifying and getting through the numbers.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Ty. Thank you for that insight. And as always, we'll go back down to the beach to Ty all day long. He is really one of the best in the business, former coach, former athlete himself. Let's take a look at the results. This is our top 10 there. Morris, Collins, LeBrun, No, Phillips, Murphy, Davidson, Alonso Ruiz, Senfen there from Switzerland, Mies from Canada, and Ryan Cotter from Ireland. I think we're taking top 12 all up through to the final, so we'll wait to see who the other two are there. But that is a quality field. Impressive. The men in 3, 4 and 5, very, very impressive there. Never count out the South Africans, like you said as well. They're used to these windy conditions, very good on the ski, a rich history of ski paddling, downwind paddling in South Africa there. Last time at the World Championships, Keeling from South Africa got the win in the ski race. So they'll be good late in this Ocean Woman event, that is for sure, and we love to see it there. From the guys to the girls, Ocean Woman coming up, but it wouldn't be possible to run a World Championships without our partners and our strategic partners. A big thank you to everybody there. Kurrawa Surf Club, Race 1 Ampol, Event Co. And for all results, draws, points, go to liveheats.com, search 2024 Lifesaving World Championships there. Get on the socials as well. I think it's 2024 Lifesaving World Championships on Instagram, Facebook. There's another Facebook one floating around. Make sure you get the right one there as well. Become part of the conversation there. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you're enjoying. add some photos there. It is one of the best sporting communities anywhere in the world, and we love to hear from you. If you're watching from the other side of the world, if you're in Europe, if you're in the US, if you're in Africa, let us know, because we're having an awesome time here on the beautiful Gold Coast. Where else would you rather be? This place, it's second to none. You've lived here for a very, very long time, Courtney. I just dip in and bail out every now and again. I love it when I come down here, and this stretch of sand is truly iconic.
It is, yeah, iconic it is. There's been so many big, incredible races that have happened along this sand. A lot of memories being made, and as we saw, there was a public holiday on the Gold Coast yesterday, and you just saw everyone out and about enjoying the beach. I still can't believe it's winter. It's the last day of winter today, but as we saw look at these beautiful drone shots, it's absolutely incredible. We've got the Oasis just behind there I'm sure at the supermarket there, I'm sure all the Powerade, all the bars would have been absolutely sold out, all the ice, everything would be sold out there, but Kurrawa Surf Club doing an incredible, incredible job. They've also got an amazing cafe up there, and sausage sizzles, all those kind of things. We'll probably pop in there, we'll slip out really quickly and get something to eat in a second, but the setup's incredible. The boats are off to the south a little bit there, so they're up and happening, and just waiting now for the ocean women, as Ty gave us an incredible insight to what's happening. We've got the eyes and the ears, the man on the sand, don't we?
Yeah, so just for a little bit of insight off that shot there, they've just moved everybody a little bit to the north, that northerly pushing the athletes down the beach. You can see the original setup was a little bit to the left of that shot there, so they've moved them up to the right, the northern end there. That wind will it kind of just lets them a little bit of safety, but they've got a little bit of leeway as they come back round as well. So that course has been moved up back to the traditional. I like that for the heats because they'll get run a little bit faster. They can get in and out, no dramas at all. They'll head out and around and straight back in, and not having to go through the break twice just makes things a little bit easier. And then when we get to the important stuff this afternoon, the finals, that is when we will run the traditional Ocean M course, and we can see a few of our competitors getting fired up, ready to go. The Indonesians there ready to go as well, so we cannot wait. Singapore, ready to go in this next one, and we've got an absolute cracker of a field here. A couple of the big names, as we saw in the last one, the Australian ski champion of Naomi Scott in there, Molly Shibnan of New Zealand, Holly Main. I wrote an article earlier in the week about this event, and I think Holly Main could be one of these girls who are not from Australia and New Zealand who could really shake things up. She's racing out of the US. Elise Donignon from France, she trains out here as well. So we're starting to see a few of these international competitors who come out here, train out here, get their experience, level up, go back to their home country, back to their home club, level up around there, and the whole sport rising. And as you say, a rising tide lifts all boats, and we've seen that over the last couple of years. The sport is growing on a level that I've never seen before.
Oh yeah, it's so exciting to see, and also it passes down into the younger age group as well. You know, you've got your start nippers that are under eights when you start doing the wage, and actually start under sixes, and they every Sunday parents, and then you go through the ages, and you know, you start getting your heroes and you be inspired. So the amount of kids that will end up watching, it's just it moves through the whole sport, as you said before.
As we said, the action has been happening all week long. Yesterday here on the sand we had the youth national team competition. They're at the pool today, racing the pool events. Courtney, you were here. We're just taking a look at some of the highlights. A few of the locals dropped by to say hi, and what a day on the Gold Coast it was. The best youth athletes from around the world doing their thing in one of the most beautiful locations around the world.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, just seeing those whales, it's just, they're so calming, aren't they? And we did see a few of the athletes. You know, it was a very tricky, even though it was a beautiful, smooth morning. And we just see Lani Waller there. She did very well yesterday, and she had a big program, but it was just enough to kind of take the athletes out. The rescue tube, that is one hard race, isn't it? It was really tough, especially for the draggers as well when they were coming in. As we can see on screen here, we had a couple of thrills and spills, a couple of people falling over. I think this is the team. I think Japan fell down just before. We might see that in a moment.
God.
Yes, and we saw that a couple of times on replay. So it was very tough out there for the crew.
Yeah, huge day of racing. Who impressed you the most? I'm going to say outside of Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, I absolutely felt the girls from Spain in that the youth board rescue. They were incredible. They were on the southern side. they came through, and their interview with Grant down the beach was phenomenal. They were crying. They were struggling to say something because they were so happy, and all their teammates came in. So we also saw South Africa in the beach titles as well. They actually took out the men's and the women's. So they got together. They did the chair up on the armchair at the end there. The celebrations were high and mighty. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I was at work, missed a little bit of it, but what I did see, blow-ups and disappointment all around, but what I did see from the young lady from South Africa who got the win is just how much it meant to her. She was crying, she was emotional, and sometimes I think we get a little bit, maybe we're a bit cold to it, and what it does mean to come here and potentially get a win against a couple of the girls that maybe you look up to and maybe that you don't think you're as good as, but some of these ladies came here and really produced, and it was super impressive. I was impressed. The French girls, unbelievable. The way they performed out there. There was a few waves that shook a few events up as well. I saw those board rescues, these board races as well. This really sort of created a few hiccups for a few of the girls there. And Nikita Nissan-Saren there on that left-hand side pushed down one and did a fantastic job. Didn't get the win, but big points for France. And that's what it's about. They're coming. The internationals are coming, and it is not just Australia versus New Zealand anymore. It is truly an international sport, and we love to see it. And that's the real push and shove there. Those two are going sideways, and the rest of the nations are like, thank you very much. We are out of here.
This race was absolutely beautiful. The way, I think his name's Matthew Brody it could have been, and the way he spoke, the emotion, he said he believed in himself, that he could do it, and it was just incredible. It was so inspiring to watch, and yeah, all the way that all the interviews made you feel yesterday was incredible. And as you said before, the internationals, they are watching and learning. They're watching the Australians, they're watching the New Zealand, and they are getting better and better. So, all you need to do is watch on TV, watch this live stream, pick up a few little bits and pieces, and it's all about trying to try and improve, and it's fantastic. And that's why I love the live streaming, because a lot of athletes can watch themselves and improve.
Yeah, and that's been the big jump in surf sports over the last couple of years, the ability to go back, watch your races, learn like professional athletes do. And the South Africans in the ski, no surprise for me, one of the greatest paddling nations in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. We can see that was the Beach Flags final there. You can see the emotion and the tears all around. Big wins from both of them. And the South Africans they've been great for a long time, and a very good surf sports nation. Had some very good champions over the years. We've raced the likes of Wade Krieger, but some of the legitimate best downwind ski paddlers of all time have come out of South Africa, and so to see a young South African lad get a win on a ski race, no surprise at all, and there'll be plenty more of those over the future. That is for sure. The ladies just getting ready. They're just getting final instructions from the starter down there on the line. A few changes this morning for the heats, and we're ironing out a few of the kinks at the moment. We'll be back fit and firing for that finals package later on today. The girls, they'll just do the traditional iron course out there, the Ocean Woman course out there, out around the Cairns, back into the beach, swim, board and ski. Let's take a look at semi-final number 1. Vols from Germany there. Burmester from Denmark, Barry from Ireland, Judith Verzifra from Spain. She spent a lot of time out in Australia racing in the past as well. Shida Sur from Singapore there, Cortine Godmeyer from Canada, Dalhusen from the Netherlands, Xing from Hong Kong, Westergaard from Sweden, Naomi Scott, former Australian champion, and very good Ironwoman from Australia, Hednova from the Czech Republic, Hockley from South Africa, Salapa from Austria, Shivnan from New Zealand, Holly Main from the US of A, Dorniong from France, McCloy from Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Rigardi from Italy, and Mitsui from Japan. That is semi-final number 1 out there. 12 going through, I think. Final of 24, bigger than we're used to seeing, but plenty of opportunity out there. Big points if you can be at the top of that final, but you can't get any points if you're not in the final. So the first challenge, just qualifying through, give your country a chance.
That's it. You have to get yourself there. That's absolutely right. You can have a look at the program and look at the final at the end of the day, but you have to get through this. You have to get yourself into it, and with these conditions out there, so you can just see one of the New Zealand competitors was talking to Kevin Morrison there, and that might be Molly actually on screen as we pair away from there, but they're getting themselves ready. They've got their caps on. They've got their country clubs on, and they've also got their goggles, so they're all getting ready to go, just getting their last instructions, but Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic final. They've got 24 going in, so 24 of the best in the world, and we just see the girls out now. It's all about the sun. The swims are really, really tough on this morning. When we pan out, when we start the race and you see the drone, you can just see how sparkling the water is, and so they've really, really got to make sure they try and really aim to get that line nice and straight, which we know once you get your head in the water, a little bit of fatigue can be really, really hard, but look at that. The jackets are off. The handlers are just grabbing those last jackets, drink bottles, and the girls are fit and ready to go.
Yeah, fired up and prepared to get out and into this one. The girls are set and ready to go there. We can see a couple of the competitors, the handlers getting the boards and skis ready to go down. And interesting one here, someone I'm very interested in seeing is Molly Shipman from New Zealand, was part of that Kiwi national team, the Black Finns' last World Championships. Got a 4th place in the swim. She's, I would say, more of a swim-based athlete, but gets her opportunity this time in the Ocean Woman event, and how she goes in this one will be very, very important for that Kiwi team, because if she can be up there in that top 2, top 3, they're good points, but if she doesn't have the race that she probably could perform in there, it could be tough for the Kiwi girls there. We know Olivia Corrin's going to be at the top end. She is truly one of the best athletes in the sport at the moment, but it's always, you talk about A athletes, B athletes, and you don't want to have any B athletes out there. I heard Max Beattie talk about that during the week. That has always been the Kiwis' attitude. You don't want to have any weaknesses in your team, and Molly Shipman here gets her opportunity in the toughest event at the competition after being part of the team mostly as a swimmer for the last couple of World Championships. This is going to be important for her. She needs to get herself out in front in this final and really set her race up. She's got to get herself through this morning and I think calm the nerves.
Yeah, also really great opportunity for Molly to get out in this first race and lose a bit of those nerves, leave them out in the water and get ready for today, because obviously what you just spoke about then, she'd be thinking that in her mind. She's like, okay, these other girls have, won series titles, won, Australian titles, so she's just got to come into her own and be like, you know what? The 3 girls, Olivia, Naomi, and also Lana, before they won those titles, they didn't win anything. Yeah. You have to, you know what I mean? Every single athlete, you've got to make that jump. So we're just ready for a start. Molly's out there in the middle there, and as we see, the girls are going straight into those potholes, and hopefully they'll be able to manage that really well. On this northern side, actually, the officials have done quite kindly to them. It's a little bit more shallower, so we might see a little bit more running, and I'm sure most of the girls for this semi-final are probably thinking, thank goodness we are only going out and back once. Yeah,
that's exactly right. A lot less running, that is for sure. This is a good semi-final. I like this one. Dornignon from France and Maine from the US both train out here. Shivnan and Scott in the mix as well. Hockley from South Africa, good competitor. Mitsu from Japan. The Japanese are always super strong, and we'll see Sara Tazaki in the next one. She is going to be someone who'll be, well, I think when the World Championship is decided for national teams, Sara Tazaki will play a massive role in there, because she's going to score bulk points and really shake things up for the Italians, shake things up for the Australians and the Kiwis there, the French, the Great British and the Americans. Sara Tazaki could be the key to it. She has a good weekend. She could take a lot of points off a couple of these nations.
Yeah, she certainly can, and she also trains alongside Naomi and also Lana as well, and Olivia. So she's got all her teammates out there, and she's been swimming incredibly well. I think, I've been watching her over the Australian titles over the last few years in the Opens, and she's just been just off the medals, but I wouldn't be surprised this year if she gets right in those medals this year. She's improved every year, and you can see Naomi Scott, she is a former Australian and world swim champion, so she's got that beautiful long stroke. She hasn't got the higher rating than most of the other girls because she's very tall, got really long arms, but she's got a beautiful technique. And you just see Molly there from New Zealand just sitting in her legs, which I think this is really, as we spoke about before, this is really great experience. She's going to get to know Naomi's kick and really, really get used to, I guess, her body and how it kind of flows in the water, because definitely when we get to that final, I wouldn't be surprised if Naomi Scott's out there just trying to really extend that lead right from the start.
Yeah, you're spot on there. Scott in 1, Shivnan in 2, Holly Main of the US in 3. It looks like Hockley from South Africa in 4, Dornignon from France not too far behind her either, and maybe McCloy out of Great Britain in there in the top 5. A little wave rolls through there, knocks a couple of girls sideways as they go round. They'll travel the string. That's the traditional set of cans for an Australian Ironman or Ironwoman event, but not at the World Championships. We have that Ocean Woman M shape. You'll see that in the final. Australia in 1, New Zealand in 2, the US, South Africa, France, and maybe just behind her as well, Great Britain. So hard to see in this shine, but the ladies we thought would come to the fore in this one have all jumped to the front almost immediately there. And sometimes the cream rises to the top early. They set that race up and then really take the foot off the accelerator, don't they?
Yeah, having a look at this at the moment, the pace is actually quite on. So Naomi Scott's leading that pace at the moment. She wants a really good hit out, and I wouldn't be surprised if she went into this having that plan, thinking she would have had a big 2 days in the pool. Very good swimmer, not only in the surf, but in the pool as well. So she might need, doing this as a warm-up and really wanting, again, we talk about blowing out those cobwebs, getting rid of the lactic acid. She might just pick up a little bit back off that wave there, and she's just looking behind now. We see there's a little, I have to say, the swell looks a little bit more consistent than what we've seen this morning. So the 2 girls out in front, Australia and New Zealand, just going to now extend their lead a little bit. We might have France then again, or Great Britain there coming in 3rd. Again, it's very difficult to see on those surf conditions, but they'll take this, milk that all the way in, and we'll go from there. But we actually are so lucky because we actually have Ty Dowker who's going to fill us all in.
Yeah, guys, we're about to have the girls come past, and here they come now. You spoke about Naomi Scott and also the cadence in their swimming. To me, it's getting a little bit colder down the beach here as well, but the black fins up and about after a great day in the pool. Naomi Scott coming through as well. But the interesting thing you spoke about was it looked like the consistency, and what that is the wind, because it's about a 6 or 7 second period. The swells are really close together as well, so they're going to be hard to pick up, but also hard to hold. As you see, New Zealand through in 1, Naomi Scott, and then Great Britain. Talk about Great Britain. What about performance in the youth of Charlotte Hart? She finished 2nd in the Ocean Woman in the youth, and number 1 priority, qualifying through the heats, and then final this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Ty. You are spot on down there. Conditions tough, and it's starting to change. And those waves so close together, they not only make it tough to get on the way, it's tough to get through on the way out, but so difficult to pick up on the way home, because when you get a little run on the board or the ski or even swimming, you start to run up the back of the one in front of it. So you really don't get that flow that you'd like to see more than anything. Our Irish competitor there making her way around. That's Barry from Ireland, made a long trip out. Great to see. Well, they've come from all over the world at the moment. The Canadian there, fantastic swim from her. Cortia Godmar works her way through, but our leaders, that's Shivnan on the left, black cap of the Black Fins. Naomi Scott, the green and gold of the Australians, not too far behind either. Still looks like Holly Mayne working her way and into it. The Canadian through transition, not too far behind her as well. Maybe Salapa of Austria, the Singapore athlete there, and Burmeister of Denmark really getting the job done. A great way to set up this race. You can see how far they're starting to work their way back to those cans. They've gone a long way up. To use that wind, you don't want to be fighting against it heading towards that first can, do you? You want to be working with it. That's Dalhusen from the Netherlands working her way into the water at the moment. And these ladies have done a fantastic job to set themselves up. Herdnova from Czech. And then it looks like maybe Regatta there as well from Italy working their way around. So the Italians, strong start in the pool. They've had a couple of good results in the Ocean Man event, and they're looking to back it up here in the Ocean Woman.
Yeah, the girls are all looking really good at the moment. Definitely, as you said before, they really want to set themselves up. As soon as they run in, just take themselves a little bit off to the left, which is off to the north, just so they can, because it is a lot easier when you're running in to take that diagonal route, more so than being out in the, as you said before, out in the ocean and trying to go against that runners. But as we see, there's a couple little runners, and we see the 2 girls, Naomi Scott, making them better most of that runner coming through. And we saw actually Zach Morris and Joe Collins. We saw how much, as we just see, coming through. And you can see how much the distance they can make on these runners. And when we come to the final, the wind's only going to pick up throughout the rest of the day. So there'll be more runners. And as you said before, you made a really great point. You're not comfortable out there the whole way. This is not going to be your smooth, nice, rolling waves. You're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be bumpy, so it's really making sure you're really aware of every single stroke that you do.
And for everyone watching, why they're not sort of running back towards the camera there, it seems like they're cutting across the waves, is course management. They're trying to take the best line on the way home while still trying to pick up a little push from those runners coming through. So your ability to get a run, maybe make a little turn, just like Naomi Scott's doing there, to get across, and keep that line, but get the most out of the wave you possibly can. It's a real skill and something you've got to practice, something you were very good at, Courtney. How hard is it to be able to, get back to that flag, not get run down all the way down the beach just because it's easier and not have to run further than you really need to?
Yeah, it's really tricky. You've got to take that all into consideration, even though you're focusing on the moment right now, what's happening, but you've also, in the back of your mind, you've got to look towards what's up next and set yourself up. So there's hundreds of decisions that you make out there, but we've actually going back to tie on the sand.
But what I love about this is we've got here. Got Regardie out there at the moment now.
We're just struggling to hear Ty just for a second there. Maybe conditions, wind making things very, very difficult. We'll try and re-get the connection. Little change here as well. The handlers have got the skis in the water for the ladies, which is a lot easier, that is for sure. You don't have to pick that ski up, drag it down. For those watching, maybe never seen an Ocean Woman event before, skis basically 6 metres, they're 18 feet kind of thing, 20 kilos, very, very tough, although the weight is coming down over the next couple of years. The specifications have changed for these, so the weight's coming down makes it a little bit easier, but in the wind, dragging that ski in, very, very difficult, that is for sure. That is our Italian competitor, I think. Ty was trying to have a chat with one of the Italian ladies there, Regardie. She's racing around, Cornelia Regardie. Italians having a great weekend so far. They're doing a fantastic job. Led the point score after the 2 days in the pool. No surprise for me there. They've been so good for so long. And the pool program in Italy in terms of surf sports is absolutely second to none anywhere in the world. They have some of the best competitions in the world and they have one of the best race teams in the world.
And what an incredible place to be able to train in Italy. Wow, you'd be certainly carving up after every training session with the best pasta and lasagna in the world, wouldn't you? So they have an incredible team, and yeah, definitely not surprised as well about that pool event. But as we have a look on the split screen, we've just lost split screen there, but the girls just their pacings, they've taken the pace down because now they've set themselves up. They're in a good position. They're happy where they are, and you can see they've just gone a little bit wide, probably more than usual around that first can, because if you're on the other side, as you said before, Josh, it's very easy to get those they're long crafts, so they can get pushed very easily. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself a nice round around that can there and coming in. And as we can see right now, the runners are just absolutely made for these surf skis. They probably only have to take a few strokes and they'll be on 1, 2, might only be 4 runners, and then they're going to be home.
And we're talking about the same thing on the board, cutting across here. Those waves are coming towards us, probably from the top to the bottom of the screen. At the moment, you can see Scott managing to hold the line on the way home. That's Burmaster from Denmark going around, and our Japanese competitor Mitsui there. You can see Scott, great shot there, cutting across it there. She's not running straight with the wave because she knows she can get the most out of the wave, head back up to that turning flag and the finishing line as well, and it's a true art to be able to run that one there. Burmeister jumps on, Mitsui as well. These two girls get on, get comfortable, get away, and it's all about ski speed. You see the girls at the top, no ski speed, wave coming through, drama for them, and if you don't have any speed, you're going to get flipped there. Naomi Scott knows it. She's an expert at it. She won the ski race at the Australian Championships not too long ago on the Sunshine Coast. I would say a bit of an upset there. Some of your best ski paddlers maybe missed the final, but Naomi Scott, she had the skills early in the week to get to the final. She had the speed in the final to get it done, and it's not a surprise when you're one of the best in the sport, but at the start of the week, I wouldn't have put money on her getting the win. But you can't take it away from her now. She's the Australian champion.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that she won that ski. She has been, I think as a ski paddler, probably underrated just because she probably hasn't done the racing in the ski events.
Spot on.
But every time you get to an Iron Woman, I know definitely racing Naomi, I always felt, okay, she's an incredible, one of the best swimmers.
Yeah.
But I also was like, she's also one of the best ski paddlers. So if you went into Naomi for that ski last, you knew you had to be. I remember I went into, I think, Surfers Paradise, and she was coming just behind me, and I knew I had to get going because she is very, very good on that ski, and I think she's obviously just as good. She has no weakness.
Yeah.
She's so fast across the sand as well. Sprint finish. she's going to be right up there. So no weakness, and that just shows her form and how well she's done in the past so far.
Yeah, Scott in 1, Shivnan in 2 as they cross the line. Holly Mayne spends a lot of time out here in Australia as well, not too far away. McCloy from Great Britain, great performance from her as well. So we continue to find stars of surf sports from all over the world at the moment. Great job from all of these ladies. Holly Mayne spends time out at Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park under Michael King there. So almost the whole summer out here in Australia. Went back to the US Championships not too long ago, back out to Australia. High flyers, here's Mitsui, the Japanese competitor. She's up and through. She'll get herself through to the final as well. Dornignon from France will go through. Hockley from South Africa, we missed her. She went up and around, did a great job on that final ski leg. So watch for Hockley in that ski race there. She absolutely flew. A fantastic job all round from these ladies. That is semi-final number 1 of the Women's Ocean Woman event. Reminder, it had to be moved up into the other area. There is still racing going on down in the original arena, and we're going to jump in between the two. The men's surf race is going on at the moment while we wait for the second semi-final of the Ladies Ocean Woman event. It's all happening down here at the 2024 World Championships at beautiful Kurrawa Beach on the Gold Coast. We love to see it. You wouldn't rather be anywhere in the world right now. We are loving it. Board rescues on as well in the water, and that's what we're seeing right now, Courtney Hancock. This is the men's board rescue action. 3 heats, top 6 to go through to the next round.
Oh, I love the board rescue. It's so much fun. And the one thing I love at Worlds with board rescue more than anything else is all the different techniques coming in. So I saw yesterday we had the traditional, what the Australians and New Zealanders do. Everyone's on their stomach, so that's the traditional one. We had another one where 2 competitors, they were both on their stomach but doing the double arm like butterfly. And then the third one we see a lot of the Europeans do, which is the swimmer who's at the front. They're on their belly doing the traditional, and then they actually had their board paddler on the back doing they're up on their knees on the back of their swimmer. So here we have out in front here, it looks like South Africa doing really, so they've gone for the more traditional technique there, but that's what I love about board rescue. You see all different, and the thing was, I don't know which one was the fastest. They all looked really, really evenly spread out, so it'll be interesting to see how many different techniques we see today.
Yeah, 3 quarterfinals, 6 through. We've already had one. This is number 2 in this one. South Africa out in front, no dramas. We have Canada, South Africa, South Korea, Sweden, Italy, Czech, Belgium and Ireland. That is semi number 2. South Africa look like they'll get it done. Top 6 to go through. Quarter 3 coming up. New Zealand, US, France, Great Britain, Germany and Norway qualified through in quarterfinal number 1. That has been run and done, but have a look at the South African boys. They are loving it. Davidson and Kurtzer, they cross the line in first. They'll get themselves through to the final. Great job. High fives all around, and they've done a really, really good effort there. Next up, it looks like it is the Italian team there. They're rolling up and around. The Irish team there. Tommy Breen and Oren Savage. Great job by these 2 gentlemen. Fantastic performance by both these boys here. No dramas at all. They'll be comfortable as they cross the line in second place. We're taking a top 6. So big numbers, giving everyone a bit of an opportunity. We're now running 2 different areas, so that's a good result for these guys. The Canadians as well, we love to see it out there. Jacob Meese and Jude Dean. Both these boys went around in the Ocean Man earlier on, so backing it up, they'll get themselves through as well, and that's what it's all about, just survival to the next round.
Oh, yeah, it certainly is, especially with board rescue. You're all going for a different can, so you've got your can that you are going to. You're not just going for the one. So it's it's going to be really interesting. Kurrawa, every little bit of the ocean out there is a little bit different. Might be a few more potholes on one side, the bank a little bit longer, deeper. So it's really just trying to, I feel like with board rescue, out of all the events, you really need to watch the race before you. A lot of these men out here, as you said before, they did the Ocean Man, so they have very familiar idea what's going out there, and it's just really important because you've got to make your decision where you go. As I said before, you've only got that one can, so we in a moment we might actually get Ty back online and see what he's got for us with a few competitors.
You there, Ty? Who have you got for us, mate?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. So we've already had Heat 1 that we just come down from the Ocean Women event, and that was New Zealand, USA, and France for the top 3 there, with Great Britain in 4. So we've got 3 heats. There's 6 going through, which gives us 3 6s or 18. They'll then have 2 semi-finals of 9. But Team Canada, you are now through the semi-final. How does that feel?
Yeah, we're really excited. We got 2 crafties out here doing board rescue together, so we're just having a good time. Happy to have made the final in both our Ocean Man, so we're having a good time today.
Good time twice. What about a good time? Let's talk about the swim leg. Were you having a good time out there? Challenging conditions, obviously, with that wind up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The conditions are really challenging today. I was lucky enough to train this year with Chugan, down a little bit south on the coast, so these conditions are a little bit like what I'm used to, but a lot of wind today.
Under the guidance of Kelly Margetts, Lindsay down there doing a great job in Chugan. Give us an insight to your surf club back in Canada in terms of conditions there at the beach, and how often you do pool to ocean events.
Yeah, so often it's really a lot of wind swell, so we're very familiar with something like this. So for us, this is just like home. And our pool events, we're working on it. We're getting used to the mannequin. We're trying to get in the pool and have some good relays. So we're working up a program in Canada, so you'll see us near the top soon.
I love that. What about that? Now, in terms of conditions at home, let's talk about water temperature. Obviously, yesterday was 21 degrees. What's it like in the middle of winter in Canada?
In the middle of winter, the water is unswimmable, and in the summer, the water was about 14 degrees in the ocean. So a lot of wetsuits, 5 mils pretty much all summer long. And, it is very, very cold.
Well, welcome to the Aussie Spa Bath. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ty, there. Yeah, I can vouch for that. I have been in the water in Canada in the middle of summer, and it is freezing. So the boys do a very, very good job over there, and they've done a fantastic job in that last one, through to the Ocean Man final and then through to the board rescue semis as well. Quarterfinal number 3 in the water: Singapore, Australia, Austria, Japan, Switzerland, Spain, the Netherlands, and Argentina. The Aussies there at the top of the screen, off and away, absolutely flying. Corey Fletcher, Zach Morris, so both the Ironmen we saw from that Ocean Man event into this one, and that's the team for mine. Zach Morris off the beach, nobody quicker. Corey Fletcher, the fastest man on the sand in terms of a surf sports athlete. You combine those two together, very, very impressive team there. I'll run you through the start list. Eddie Hong, Yok Lin, and Dennis Xiao Chen Jat from Singapore. Corey Fletcher, Zach Morris, Christoph Matitz and Tulful from Austria, Yuno and Ayazawa from Japan, Scheinlein and Senfen from Switzerland, Alonso Ruiz and Sanchez from Spain, Van Hoften and Van Grieken from the Netherlands, and Coltry and Romero from Argentina. They are the teams. The Australians are there first. If you haven't watched a board rescue before, swimmer goes out, hand on the can, they raise it right up. That is the signal for the board paddler to go out. They have to go around the can. Both men or women have to be on top of the board on the way home, and they cross the line. It is a true simulation of a rescue, and where Lifesaving started, you're going out to get your teammate, you come back together and cross the line. The best team wins, and sometimes it's not just, and you'd know this better than anyone, Courtney, you've won plenty of these. I've seen you over the years win thousands of them. You may not have the best swimmer and the best board paddler, but if you've got the best team and the most in-time paddling on the way home, that is the key to a board rescue, isn't it?
Yeah, Ty and I spoke exactly that yesterday. It's it's like having that really special bond out there, and two athletes that really gel together. And your weight's got to gel, and also the way you stroke, your stroke count and everything like that. So if you find that one person that you really mix with, don't lose them because they are very, very hard to find. And I'm really excited to see Corey Fletcher and Zach Morris together. I think if you could pick 2 people in the whole sport, no matter what club they're from,
100%.
I think you'd almost pick those 2 every single time, and they can run ridiculously fast together too. So no one's going to be slowing each other down, and they're just taking their time at the moment, but it's going to be a very difficult and challenging board rescue final because of this wind. And, not only do you have one person on the board, you've got 2. And there's that technique I was talking about a couple of minutes. Yeah. And see, it works very, very well if you practice it. It certainly isn't any slower, so I look forward to seeing all those different techniques.
The one thing about board rescue as well is it's always primed for an upset. There's always a team that comes through because you only get a can. You can't sort of make too much of a deviation in terms of the course. Sometimes you get a good lane, sometimes you get a really bad one, and and it's really prime for an upset. And the Japanese team absolutely flying in the centre at the moment. Have a look at them go. They've worked their way past the Australians at the moment. It doesn't look all that fast, but they are flying at the moment. The Aussies are safety first on the stomach, and have a look at the rest of these teams absolutely flying in on the way home. The Australians will get there. The Japanese made it a real two-horse race. They'll pick up this one as well. They're down on the stomach now, and they'll charge up the beach. They're on that little wave coming through at the moment. The Aussies have done well. It looks safety first, but this is where we could see a real upset in terms of the point score, because if you get knocked out, if a couple of teams get a wave, if you don't make the final, that's 6, 8, 10, 12 points. And this National Teams Cup is going to be decided by 2, 3 points tops, 5 points realistically. So if you lose 10 or 12 in a rescue, that is massive panic stations for a couple of these nations.
I know, there's a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Very much so.
That's why they feel so nervous coming into this, and it's the board rescue is one that can really be won and lost in just a mere moment, and I've seen that through the week, at that those one runners, if you get one off that can, it can really turn into a wave, and a wave that goes straight past all the other competitors. So a lot can happen, and that's why the athletes have to be really, really on every single race. Very focused, they can't get distracted, and because there's a lot on the line, and as we can really see that camera shot pan out there, you can see thousands and thousands of just those lumps out there at the back of the ocean. It's it's very, very tricky today, but it was nice to see the Canadians talk about, they're in wind a lot.
A lot of wind.
Yeah, same with the South Africans. So I feel like, I'm really stoked that there are a couple of countries like, okay, we're in this every day. They feel confident.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah.
Making the most of it.
Yeah, and that's it. If you've been around something, if you've been in something before, you just have that, the level of stress is a little bit smaller there. And I guess for the likes of you, Courtney, if you get to 20-foot surf, the stress level just goes up ever so slightly, and it's all about levels, new devils, and you've been used to this sort of swell, and these guys are getting used to this sort of stuff. Ty Dowker is on the beach. I think he's with the Spanish team there, a couple of the lads. They've done a great job and got themselves through to the semi-final.
Yeah, they're through the semi-final. I can tell you one thing, there'll be no siestas this afternoon because the Spanish team are up and about. More so from the effort yesterday of the youth females to take out the World Championship in the board rescue. Must be a special moment yesterday for that of Spain.
Oh my God, I see the video in the pool and was like one of the best coming back I have ever seen. Like they go like 5 and they arrive in first, catching really, really good runners. They do a really great job.
And talk me through the technique. Obviously, the lead board puddle was lying down. The person behind was a European sort of style technique. Do you find that more effective even in these conditions of the wind?
Yeah, I have done a lot of times that technique. I think if you have a great board and with a lot of volume, it's really fast in surf, in a small surf. Maybe in big one it's not, but today it's not like messy, and if you catch a wave, you're going to win.
Yeah, we love the X factor of the surf, but more importantly, they're going to build a statue of the girls in Barcelona or there in San Sebastian for winning the World Championships of the board rescue. Will they build a statue?
This sport in Spain is not like in Australia, so it'll be a little bit smaller, but for everyone that do that sport in Spain was a big new that have the girls in the top. We already have one on the podium in 2014, the big ones. And I hope this year we have also something in open.
Well, you're doing a wonderful job, and obviously the swimmer over here. How are the conditions? Is it when the wind picks up, it becomes difficult to see the swim cans? Did you find that challenging going out to your swim can?
Yeah, it's so difficult because I swim without see the cans, and when I go on the water, then that's my can. So I go to there.
And one last question. Have a look around. We might have a little bit of wind on the beach. We've got blue skies, we've got the skyscrapers, the golden beaches of the Gold Coast. How much do you love Australia?
I'm really surprised. It's all very beautiful, but the wind is very difficult for us. I do a lot of in the swimming pool and also in the beach, so I'm also very tired for the pool. And now we have to do the best in the beach also.
Well, they've done a phenomenal job in the pool last 2 days. Now stepping up in the ocean. Well, there you have it. You're through the semi-final. Best of luck to our Spaniards. They're up and about.
Yeah, that was Carlos Ruiz and Javier Sanchez. Great performance from the boys. They've finished in third place. We'll take a look at the replay of that one. The Aussies got it done. Japan in second, Spain in third, the Swiss in fourth. Netherlands and Argentina got themselves through. We say goodbye to Austria and Singapore. So our semi-finals are set. There'll be 2 semi-finals coming up with, it looks like 8 in each. So that will be a great run. We're not too far away from that one either. You can see the changeover from the Aussies. Not perfect, not as fast as we've seen, but good enough for a semi-final or a quarterfinal like this. Just get around and get yourself through the next round.
Yeah, they look really good, really relaxed. As we just see those little waves, and as Carlos said there before, he said if you get a wave out the back, you've won it. And it's pretty simple, and he's very correct in saying that, because they really hook up to each other. And if you're a great team that paddles well together, like we said before, you're really going to have that great opportunity. So certainly the board rescue is not going to be one and done until 2 athletes are going to be on that board and coming on the way home.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think the race starts at the cans there. That is for sure. The Japanese impressive. I was really impressed with that performance there. It didn't look pretty, but sometimes you don't have to be pretty, you just have to be fast. That is for sure. Take a look at the top 7, and Singapore unfortunately disqualified in that one. We say goodbye to Austria as well, but everybody else survived that one. Argentina, the Netherlands, the Swiss, Spain, Japan, and the Aussies. It's a tough event to do. I call it a bit of a novelty event because you just don't know what you're going to get. It is so hard to win, and every year, I don't think we've had back-to-back winners at any carnivals for a long, long time. And if you can find a teammate that does well with you, you've got to stick with them, because that is half the battle, finding someone you like paddling with there. Big shout out to all our officials as well. They've come from all over the world to make this event possible. It would not be possible without them volunteering their time. A couple of true legends of surf sports down on the sand, making sure all things happen, and our volunteer water safety as well. They do a fantastic job out there. These are the best surf sports athletes in the world, but Mother Nature and the ocean is unpredictable, so we like to make sure that all of our athletes are safe out in the water every single time they put their foot on the line. So a huge thank you to the organising committee of World Lifesaving, and of course our officials and water safety as well. It would not be possible without them. The action continues. Coming up, more of men's board rescue, more of women's ocean woman action not too far away. We will bring you everything we've got. Don't forget the finals package from 1 p.m. this afternoon local time. Make sure you tune back in for that one there. I'll try and bring up semi-final number 2 in the water at the moment for the Ocean Woman event. We will bring you the results when we have them there as well. Courtney Hancock, what's been the highlight so far this morning?
Oh, so far, I think... Oh, it's a tough one. I think really seeing... I just love the interviews with Ty on the beach. I think that's probably my favourite. I love the great passion, the energy, and especially all the athletes from all the different countries that, there's a couple that we interviewed that I've met before, and they're just so lovely, and they're just... You can really tell the energy there and the passion they have for this sport is so, so beautiful, and it really makes you... Yeah, sometimes you can get really serious and focus on racing and this and that, but there's so much else with our sport, and so I think listening to the interviews, I love my favourite interviews are when the athletes and competitors are really raw and they don't think about what they're saying. They just let it all out, and they can be disappointed, really happy, excited. I guess it really fills your cup for the rest of the day. So I'm really excited. I love seeing those interviews, and so the more interviews, Ty, the better.
And I'm with you as well. And I like the racing part of it. I like the competitive part of it, but I actually just like the celebration part of what we're doing here and coming together as a movement and getting it done. And it's about stories and people that have come from places that you'd never expect, from all over the world, landlocked countries that they haven't been in the ocean for a long time. They come to Australia, they get it done. It's about the stories of these athletes and the things that they're doing that make it truly special. And we're gonna hear plenty more stories throughout the weekend, that is for sure. We're gonna have plenty of champions come through this coverage, and so far it's been absolutely fantastic. Last time the board rescue was run and done, it was the Australians that got it in both the men's and the women's. That was 2 years ago in Italy. No interclub competition since 2018 down in Adelaide, and that was the Currumbin Vikings for the for the men and the Northcliffe ladies for the women there. So we'll see that competition later in the week. If you're just tuning in, you're not really sure of what's happening. National teams racing over these couple of days. We've had a couple of days in the pool, a couple of days in the beach in the Opens. The youth have been at the beach the last few days. They're at the pool right now. And then the inter-club competition kicks off over the next couple of days once we hit Tuesday and rolls through. So that's racing for your club teams, and a lot of these international competitors, they'll go back and put a different cap on and race for their club team. That is how you crown those individual event world champions. This is finding out who the best nation in the world is. That one will be about finding out who the best athlete in the world is, and it's a festival of surf sports, isn't it? 3 full weeks of action. Everything you could ask for is getting run and done, and we're not too far away from the semi-finals of the board rescue coming up for the men.
It is a festival, isn't it? I tell you what, you all need to get down here. Make sure you get here early. Grab yourself a park and make sure you look how many hours it is as well, because I was getting a park and said 3 or 4 hours. I was like, no, I'm going to be here a lot longer than that. So make sure you check that out. And slip, slop, slap as well. Make sure, even though it is windy and it might be a little bit colder down there, make sure you get that sunscreen on. Stay out of the shade as well. All the important stuff that's out there. But as we can just see, we've got our semi-final for the men's quarterfinal, or should I say?
So, yeah, semi for the men.
Up.
Yeah, board rescue. The second of the Ocean Women's semi-finals has been run and done. The results for those: Lana Rogers of Australia through Olivia Corrin from New Zealand, Sarah Tazaki from Japan, Kelsey Cummings, a great athlete from the US, Valerie Thijs from France, Warris Mills from South Africa, Gerbhardt from Germany, Fuset from Spain. That is your top 8 to go through. We're waiting for a couple more. Of course, there has been a change, and we've had to move those Ocean Women events up out of the main arena due to safety. So that's why we didn't bring you that second one there. We're bringing you the board rescues at the moment. A few changes because of the wind. We're doing our best to bring you everything we can down here at the World Lifesaving Championships 2024 on the beautiful Gold Coast, and we are not too far away. Board rescue races are up next, and if that last one's anything to go by, they're going to be super tight. Even the Australians, no, they weren't that far in front of the Japanese and the Spanish in their quarterfinal, and I know they weren't all in. They weren't going at 100, but Japanese look very, very good, and I think they're a roughie for this one.
They're very, very good, aren't they? And I noticed they're really good at the technical things. I noticed that in the beach flags as well, and they're very light and fast and zippy. Yep. So board rescue, it's short and sharp. You really need to be on right from the start. And semi-finals of this board rescue, this is the business end, because remember, they don't take as many. There's not too many cans out there, so you can only fill, we can't add an extra can out there, so you can only fill that up to 8 spots. So 4 and 4 from each semi-final. So if you get a super tough semi, which when you get to a semi-final, everyone's good, it's very, very tough to make. So we'll, all those men, they'll be nice and ready and warmed up, ready to go. They've got their jackets on now, and it's going to be really interesting semi-finals coming up.
Yeah, we're not too far away. Ty Dowker, he is down on the beach. He looks like he's found a few people to have a chat with. Ty, what's happening down on the sand?
Yeah, guys, just getting organised for that of the board rescue coming up. But we talk about international flavour, not only the athletes and the teams, but also the officials, all the way from, he's an Aussie from Brighton in South Australia, to all the way to Germany as well. So a bit of an insight to that of Germany. How do you feel being over here in Australia, the beautiful Gold Coast, being an official?
Yes, it's my third time in Australia. I also was in Lawn 2006 and Adelaide 2012. But this is the biggest adventure here for me, to see the Gold Coast. And
we spoke, we mentioned yesterday about getting here. We're looking at 20 to 30 hours of travel to arrive in Australia. Is that about right in terms of travel time?
Yes, we have travel time. We had travel time before in Singapore, and we have travel time after the Interclub, and it will be a great time.
Will be a great time, and had some phenomenal performances from Germany in the pool with world records the last 2 days as well. Look down the camera there and a big shout out. You can speak in German as well, because we are on YouTube going around the world. What would you like to say to all your home families back at home in Germany, and also your surf and life-saving clubs?
Ja, viele Grüße an alle deutschen Teilnehmer hier, insbesondere die deutsche Nationalmannschaft, die heute hier noch am Start ist. Aber es gibt auch viele Teams, die in den nächsten Tagen die Interclub-Wettbewerbe bestreiten. Und natürlich Grüße nach Hause an alle Daheimgebliebenen.
I think that was, I'm not coming back to Germany because I love Australia so much, but how good is that? Now, from an Aussie accent all the way back to South Australia in Brighton.
What have I got to say?
Shout out down the camera all the way to South Australia.
Yeah, hi South Australia. It's really great up here at the Worlds. One of the best I've been to, and go the Aussie guys.
There you go. Go the Aussies, go the Germans, have a great day, and we love what the officials do here at the World Championships.
Thanks, Ty. We gave them a wrap, that's for sure, and they've done a fantastic job down there. I don't speak German, but I feel like they're having a great time down here, and that's what it's all about. It's all the internationals have come out. He said it's an adventure, and it's been an adventure for a lot of us down here. That is for sure. Has getting it done there with the binoculars, making sure the course is set properly. So we're not too far away from the semi-finals of the men's board rescue national teams competition. Let's take a look at some highlights from the action so far, and there's been plenty. It has been absolutely spectacular, the racing. Kicked things off this morning, the Ocean Man and Ocean Women events. Now we're into the board rescue. Corey Taylor was on fire. Race 1, the defending world champion there. He was... I don't even want to say he was at 50%. I don't even think he was at 50%, and he dominated it there. That is Joey Collins and Zach Morris. They were in semi number 2. They look comfortable as well. They were just operating in first gear.
I reckon these athletes jumping ahead to next weekend.
Yeah.
Fantastic for them to have a hit out as well. So they're getting a couple of rounds of racing in, and you've got all the other athletes that'll be straight in, nice off season really. So the opportunity for all these athletes to be out here racing, not only getting a hit out, but they're representing their country. So very, very special. And as we move into it, is the Ocean Woman, as we know, had to get moved across to that north side. Lucky we have Ty on the beach, who's keeping us updated with everything. And there we have Holly and Naomi out there in front doing very well. And board rescues, which we will continue into those semis, which will definitely see the rating hit up, and we'll definitely be seeing this going to be very, very tight. Might even see a few sprint finishes, I think, because the waves are picking up more consistently, and we might see a few of the teams all on one wave together.
I think you're spot on. The Kiwis won quarter 1, the South Africans won quarter 2, and the Aussies got it done in quarter-final number 3. This is the team of Zach Morris and Corey Fletcher working hard on the way home there. Fletcher on the back. He might be I don't want to say the most improved athlete, but he went from being in that top tier to being the absolute, maybe the best athlete in surf sports in terms of all-round ability. Best ski paddler, best board paddler almost in the country last year. He's putting it together in the Ironman. He can swim, he can run. There, if you're going to build a prototype athlete, he is the man, and I think he just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And he burst onto the scene a couple of years ago. He had a few years where the results probably didn't come like he would have wanted to. Went back to square one, reset, reevaluated what he's doing, went again, and it is really paying off now. And I can't speak highly enough about Corey Fletcher, because he's not a star of the future, he's a star of right now, and he's on absolute fire at the moment. And we will see in one of these semi-finals of the board rescue coming up.
Yeah, we've seen him so many times, that sprint finish, haven't we? He's phenomenal. I think you take even a quarter of his speed and you'll still be the fastest person on the sand. So it's a great asset for him to have that. And speaking to him last season, saying he was actually a beach competitor before he was actually in the water. So that's very, very scary, and a great, great asset to have on the Australian team. I mean, for an athlete to be able to do everything, it's, very, very rare. He's a rare athlete, and I just feel like he's really found his own. I think, the sport, he probably was maybe a little bit, I'm more of a speed specialist. Maybe mentally he felt that. So the longer distance, he might have, not had that confidence. But it's been so wonderful to see him this season really shine, and he is a shining athlete. So he won multiple sprint finishes, but not only from being on the wave, from being a wave behind athletes. He's incredible. He is so incredibly fast. But not only that, on the beach, he really... as you said, in the ocean too. But the one thing we have to say about Corey Fletcher is, yes, he's fast, and yes, he's brilliant across all areas, but he gives it a go. You can see with those sprint finishes, you can be fast, but potentially maybe some athletes don't give it that 110. He is always giving 110, and I think that's why so many people have so much respect for him and look up to him. Yeah, that's it. And I think maybe that partnership with Michael King, Kingy's traditionally been a coach who big volume, big endurance, and Corey's been a speed athlete, maybe didn't have that back end and didn't have that endurance. And I think those two have found their sort of
Michael's put in enough work to him there that it's allowed him to have a really strong sort of complete race, but he's managed to find that speed again, and now it's the best of both worlds. And I think that's a great partnership between a coach and an athlete, doing the work, doing enough to get it done, but having that front end speed there and not getting too flat. And I think those two have absolutely found the perfect balance in there. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this summer. This semi-final of the men's board rescue is super tough. This is not one you want to be in. Random draw, obviously, and we'll take a look at the lineup here. The Australians there in lane number 1. So on that far right-hand side, Fletcher and Morris. Wolkoff and Hoffman of Germany in 2 there. Norway, Besagny and Jensen, the Norwegian boys. Ireland, Breen and Savage there. The French, Lesser and Tisa from lane 5. Czech there, Pekka and Richter. The Swiss team, Sandro and Cyril there of Switzerland. The Canadian boys, Jacob and Jude going, and Brian Murphy and Alexander Cole of the USA down at the bottom. 9 teams to go. So 9 teams in this one. Top 4 to go through. Going to be very, very difficult. This is a much tougher semi-final than the other one, I think. I think you'd rather be sitting on the beach and watching this one go, because there's a couple of teams here I thought that would be very, very competitive in that final. The French, obviously the Germans, the Australians there, obviously the Canadians and the US. That's 5 teams that I would have thought would be in the final, and we're going to say goodbye to at least one of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's really tight in that board rescue. As you said before, there's, depending on the position on the line where you are, it can be really, really tricky. You can have a bad line out, you can have a good line out, but you really just got to make sure you focus on your can where it is. So we've just got Zach Morris, who took the goggles off, having a little bit of rest, might be a little bit more of a wait, and that's always the worst thing, isn't it? A competitor, when you're on the line, they said, okay, you've got 5 minutes, but here we go. Officials got hand up in the air. We'll see our competitors in a moment. In 3, 2, 1, and they are off.
Good call there. Alexander Cole from the US off and away. Jude Dean from Canada beside him. As we look from the left to the right, there's Switzerland there. 3 in from the left-hand side. The Czech, France, Irish, Norwegian, German and Australian teams. That's left to right. The Aussies often flying on that far right-hand side as Morris goes under one, stays under for a long, long time there. He'll pop up in that clean green. 1 more to negotiate and he's off and away and absolutely flying at the moment there. Pretty strong start, maybe 3 in there from the Irish team there. Savage has done a great job. They sit maybe in second place, and down on this far left-hand side, the Canadians as well have got off to an absolute flyer there, along with the Americans. So at the moment, Australia in 1, Ireland in 2, Canada and the US in, maybe the US and Canada in 3 and 4, and then you could throw a blanket over the rest of the teams. Maybe the French, yes, starting to go to work there, and you can see as those cans come into shot, the Australians are headed for the red and yellow. The Irish look like they're going towards the orange, the blue and white or the yellow for the French, and the Americans have got a long, long way to come back on the left-hand side. Into the changeover, they'll throw one arm over the top, one arm high into the sky. Morris is there first, the Irish are there second, the French are there third, the Americans are fourth, and that's our top 4 heading onto the board. The board paddlers are off and away there. That's Brian Murphy for the US team, 4th to the cans. He'll head in. Board goes down with a couple of bunny hops there. That's Corey Fletcher onto the stomach. Safety first. You'll see him stand up, jump up and over that one there. Good skills to negotiate that little break, and the rating a lot higher than the rest of the boys around him. There are the Norwegians there on and away, and you can just see the difference in technique. Not using the arms there, the Norwegian lad. You've got to use the arms there. It's like running. When you see those runners go, they're pumping their arms and the power's going through their legs. Board paddling's the same. They're pumping the legs and that power's going through their arms. So you like to see it there, but still out in front. The Australians doing a fantastic job. Ireland in second, and the Americans work their way into third. The French not too far away in 4th place as well. So a great paddle, and the big surprise packet so far has been that Irish team. They've been absolutely flying so far. We can watch them come into the change in the centre of the screen. He ducks under, gets on and away, and the Australians are headed for home. Absolutely on fire. Corey Fletcher on the back, Zach Morris on the front. You can see the rating goes up, the nose starts to dip. They'll push down it, and very relaxed there from Zachy Morris. He looks across and knows that these two are out in front. This looks like the race for qualification. The Irish at the top of that second group. The French in there with one of them on their knees working on the way home. The Aussies have got a wave out in front. Keep the nose up. Keep yourselves out of trouble and you're through to the final. And smiles all around for these two boys. They'll be enjoying this, that is for sure. The next three looks like it's almost set there. The Irish, the French, the Americans come into shot. They've just got, nosedive, nosedive, nosedive. The board goes under, pops up. You need the board for the finish. You can see Brian Murphy swings around, grabs it. They're the kinds of mistakes you don't want to have because it'll allow the rest of the teams back into it. But no doubting our winners out in front at the moment. Australia in one. The race for second, third, fourth and fifth, remembering only 4 teams will go through to the final from each semi, and the Australians are through. They've locked it in. The Irish, they have been the find of this semi-final. Great paddle for them. The French are there as well. The Americans, they will get themselves a spot in the final also. And that is all she wrote. We say goodbye to everybody else, and what a semi-final it was. And in the end, it was pretty clean cut. The poor old Canadians, they will go home without a final spot. They'll be in the B final later on this afternoon. So a reminder that everybody in these events will go through to the B final as well. That will be the Swiss team, the Norwegians, the Germans and the Canadians. Great paddling all round from these men. The Australian, super dominant. Ty Dowker's down on the beach. I'm sure he'll be grabbing a couple of guys to have a chat with, and we're not too far away from having a chat with them as the Norwegians make their way in. A great job there on those very famous colours of Shannon Eckstein working their way back to the beach, the green and orange there, and the Norwegians, a great job. Very tough to do board rescue, and they've done a great job. Ty Dowker down on the beach. Who have you got to have a chat with down there, mate? Oh, he's just out setting up. We're not too far away from Ty. We'll continue to watch the Norwegian lads work their way up and across the line. A fantastic performance from these boys. They've done a good job. They'll be in the B final later on this afternoon, and semi-final number 2 is not too far away. Ty, I think you've got the Irish boys down there. They will be singing and celebrating that one. They were on fire.
Well, we talk about the luck of the Irish. They needed no luck there. And what about this? We mentioned the name Savage, and Will Macho Man Savage, a great Ironman, only trains down the road. But what about that of a swim performance and also Breen? But more important, listen to this one because I love the accent of the Irish. You're through to the final. How does that feel?
Yeah, we're delighted. We came here hoping to get to the final, and so we'll give it our best shot. We got a bit of a dump there on the way in, but we're just delighted to get through now.
What are these conditions as well? We spoke about getting dumped coming in. That tide's running out. It'll have a little bit more punch on that shore. Do you get much conditions or many conditions like this back in Ireland?
This is very similar to onshore, side shore. So maybe not the power in the way underneath in our feet. Maybe the potholes when you're running in, but very, very similar.
Phenomenal swim. Obviously, final coming up, but then obviously there's 3 parts to that of a board rescue: the swim, the board, and the ability to come home. Now, Breen, he's probably one of the best-looking roosters as well from the Ireland team as well. He's got the curls, the blonde hair, and I tell you what, you've got great support over in Ireland as well. Look down at that of the camera, and a little bit of a shout-out to all those in Ireland supporting you guys.
Yeah, I know some of the lads are all at home. Actually, most of the boys, I think, are in the pub, so I think they're watching. One of the boys is in Portugal as well. I think, pretty sure my mother and father are asleep, but I know one of our old coaches from home, he's up watching, having a few pints. So this one goes out to you. We're into the final, so let's go all the way.
Let's go away now. Your home clubs, are you both to the same club or different clubs? What's the makeup back in Ireland?
Yeah, no, we're both from the same club, grew up together all our life. Always swam, surf, the whole shebang, so we side by side with each other every day, never leave each other's side really.
What about the stories we're going to have in the pub in 20 years' time over a Guinness? And the boys are sitting here and you're replaying the YouTube live. What about that moment in 20 years' time?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty hectic. I think, we're trying to build a name for ourselves and starting our careers. So I think this is a good start so far, so we're ready for it.
Well, rip in, boys. Second Australian. They look pretty nervous, the Australian team, looking over their shoulder, seeing the Irish on the run. Bet the final, and what a great story.
Cheers, thank you.
I've never wanted a team to win more. Big shout out to all the boys in the pubs in Ireland watching surf sports. That is what it's all about. You love to see it, and they did well. Like, it's not a chance. And there's the surf pumps in Ireland. There's some of the best big waves spots anywhere in the world, but I think it's one of those places that you don't think surfing, surf sports, anything like that, but there's good surfers that come out of there. There's good athletes that come out of there, some great swimmers over the years as well, and they just love having a good time, the boys, and I want to see Ireland do very, very well. They're into the final. They've got a shot. All you need is a lane. Courtney Hancock. Wouldn't it be something if there was an upset like that?
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's... I tell you what, if I was out there board rescue, I'd just be laughing the whole time. You know, my mum and dad's asleep, my coach, he's probably having a pint, my other friend, he's probably out at the pub, and they just really have a good time. I think they have a really nice work-life balance, I think, by the sound from the Irish. So brilliant, but it would be like the girls that won from Spain yesterday. They were incredible, and speaking of Spain, that looks like they're out in front at the moment. So well done to the crew. They really love that double technique that we've spoken about, and it works very, very well for them.
I think we're calling it the European technique there. It's still absolutely flying at the moment. Yeah, they've done a fantastic job so far. Out in front, the South African boys there. Oh, just keep it up. They've done really, really well. New Zealand, Sweden, the Netherlands, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Japan, South Africa, Spain, Belgium, and Argentina. We take a look. Here come the Spanish, and we gave them a massive rap, and then they've just sent one down the mine. A big, big nosedive there. Out in front at the moment, the South African boys absolutely flying. But where are the Kiwis? That's what I want to see. Where are the Kiwis? The big, there they are there. No dramas at all from the Kiwi boys. So South Africa across, New Zealand across. I think the Spanish lads have managed to get themselves back together for a third place there. So we're chasing one more on the way home, and it might be the Japanese. You've got to cross together, and you both got to have hold of the board there. Don't go there. Oh, he's across, and maybe the Spanish have missed out because of that one. So we'll wait and see who has got the nod in the end, but drama aplenty. The Spaniards look happy and home there, but one nosedive, and that can be all over Red Rover for these guys. What about that? They won't be cheering in the bars of Spain, that's for sure, but they will be in Ireland because they're through to the final, and they will be in Japan because they did a fantastic job. Difficult rules here in board rescue. You've both got to be holding the board as you cross the line, so that is why our friend there from Japan was really waiting, and as soon as he grabbed it, bang, across the line there. But a great job out in front. That's the two Japanese lads there that got themselves through to the final. But another dark horse. If the Irish were good, maybe the South Africans were better. They look very, very strong in this one, and I think they've come to this World Championships and thought, we can really cause a boil over in a couple of these events. Let's focus on them, and I think the board rescue here for the men might be one of them there because they looked very good so far.
And they look really comfortable together as well. Individually, they were both very strong, but it's about being comfortable together and being able to really move that board in a lot of pace. You almost want to, even though there's two bodies on the board, you almost want to paddle like there's only one board paddler on there. So it's really keeping that flow, even though we spoke about before, there's not a lot of flow out there with the chop and everything like that. But if you're light enough, fast enough, good enough, you will connect those dots together and get yourself on a wave. So we just see, I love also the sportsmanship as well that's been, it's only been the first couple of days, and there's a lot of hugs, a lot of laughs, and a lot of handshakes, and I think that's one really beautiful thing to, to always keep in sport. So I've loved seeing that, and I just love everyone getting around each other, and you have friends for life from all over the country, and you never know, if you travel the world, you could go visit all your friends, but we're going to now go back to Thai on the beach.
Yeah, sorry guys for cutting in, but I love it. There's so many stories on the beach and international flavour, and we got Culture here as well, last name from all the way from Argentina. How was it out there for the swim leg?
Yeah, swimming is perfect. Very agotador.
A little bit different to the pool environment as well. And then over here as well, and this is what I love as well, because a lot of countries that have come here to Australia, they haven't had their craft with them, and they've picked up one of the race one, obviously a great sponsor of the Lifesaving World Championships as well. This looks like a very fast board. How did it go out there today?
Yes, it's a very fast board, and the board break all the waves and pass like nothing, and it's really fast to enter and get out the water.
Now, unfortunately, you've just missed out on the final, but I think we might have a B final coming up as well. But the last couple of days, obviously the pool events, you've got the ocean days as well. It's a great event, the World Lifesaving Championships, isn't it?
Yes, the pool, the organization, the waves, all the staff are amazing, and it's a pleasure competing with the all people and all countries, and this event is a lot of all.
I love it. I tell you what, we love having Argentina here as well. So there you have it, the boys. They've just missed out in the final, but they've got the smiles on the dials. And talk about the Irish being good-looking roosters. What about these boys from Argentina? Very good-looking. Great job, boys. Enjoy. You want to say back home down the line, go straight down the camera to speak in Argentina as well to your friends back home.
Mamá, papá, los amo. Cami también. Gracias a todos por estar alentando. Vamos Argentina, carajo.
There you have it, all the way from Argentina. Back to Argentina, back to you guys.
Yeah, I don't have much Spanish, but it's very, very good to hear these guys sending the messages back home. I think there was these, I'm going very well, Mum and Pa, but excuse my lack of Spanish there. And the boys did a good job. They ended up in 6th place across the line. They'll be in the B final, but not in the A final, unfortunately. It was South Africa, New Zealand in 2nd, Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I should have thought of that one there. The Japanese stole that last spot. The Spanish missed out. They'll be in the B final with Argentina, Belgium, the Netherlands, and the Swedish team as well. So that's the board rescues run and done for the men. We've got ourselves locked into a final. I wasn't looking forward to that one at the start of the day. It wasn't even one I thought about in terms of being exciting, but I reckon that might be the most exciting final coming up later on. You've got, obviously, the Australians and the Kiwis there, very, very good. The French look fantastic. The Irish looked unbelievable. The South Africans haven't been beaten so far this weekend after 2 races against some really good competition. You add in the Great British team, you add in the Americans as well, the Japanese, and all of a sudden, it's not a 1 or 2 horse race. It is a legitimate 8-team race out there, and this one is going to come down to the wire.
And we also have to look at the conditions as well. So there's that decision whether you, and we saw actually that's what happened to Spain out there. They nosedived, they went for, and then here we actually have the results. So we've obviously got South Africa doing very well, as you said. New Zealand, always going to be strong. Great Britain, well done. They've been fantastic over this whole week. Japan, we just saw them at the finish there. We've obviously had Spain. Unfortunately, just missed out. Yep. And then Argentina, we heard from before. But going back to Spain, so what happened? They went sidewards and they had the opportunity to get on their board. They actually tried to get on their board. I would have thought that they would have someone body served and the other person got on the board. And they may have caught Japan. So we'll wait and see. They're in the B final. They're there as well. So, and congratulations to the Netherlands and also Sweden getting in there and out there and having a go. So I think going back to what we were saying with the conditions, I think what I'm trying to say is it really opens it up. I guess that end section of the board rescue, it's, there's the bank's a little bit shallower on one side, a little bit deeper. So if you've got a team that gets up and gets those legs and gets moving, I feel like potentially from watching it, if you single out, so one person runs and one person bunny hops, potentially that could be the way to go. And I think those little decisions at the end are really going to make the difference between, first, second, third and fourth.
Yeah, you're spot on there. And that's what makes board rescue racing so good, is that you get a good lane, you have a good race, and all of a sudden you may be ranked 8, 10, 12. You can win that thing, and it's a difficult race to get right, but if you're having a good day out and you get a little bit of luck, you can win it from anywhere, that is for sure. And spot on in terms of your insight into that event. And the conditions today, like you said, it opens it up for anyone. And if you've got a lane in that final, you have a chance. And for the first time today, I look at it and go, look, the Aussies and the Kiwis are really going to have to fight it out if they want to get maximum points in that one. And to be honest, a commentator shouldn't be biased, but I am cheering for the Irish and the South African guys there. I'm loving them.
You just want to have a beer with them,
I definitely want to have a beer with them. I want to show them my Irish accent, that's for sure as well. It's a little bit of a superpower of mine. But there's a lot of racing to go between now and then, and heats and semis don't mean much if you can't get it done in the final. From the surf to the sand, the beach sprint action is about to kick off. This one's going to be interesting as well for the ladies and the men's. 2 athletes in each team will line up. A couple of the nations have traditionally decided to just bring beach competitors, or they'll bring 2 beach competitors to bolster up their chances in those events, and the relays as well. For some of those nations who are trying to win the overall point score, your Australian, New Zealand, maybe your French and your Americans, you just bring the one beachy and then you throw your best water competitor in there to try and fill the gap. So it's going to be interesting to see who throws in what. It's going to be interesting to see how they go, and if you can get 2 competitors that'll get double points in that final, make those finals, get get a 12th and a second, or get a 19th. It's just something to score. That is something that is truly important when it comes to that overall point score. So we're not too far away, and it'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, they're almost the decider, aren't they? It's just where you can make so many points up. And as we're just looking at that beautiful drone shot, look at that sand. I don't know about you, Josh, but that just looks it looks like snow, actually.
Picture perfect.
Beautiful to look at and lie on, but to absolutely be there and running as fast as you can would be so, so hard. There's nothing like running on sand. It's incredibly difficult. The heart rate goes up. And shout out to everyone out here who's come to watch, come to support, come to cheer on. It's fantastic to have you down here. An incredible spot to be in. And yeah, make sure you make the most of it. It's a well done to the setup. Queensland Surf Lifesaving have done an incredible job with that. It's picture perfect. And look at that. We have all our fit humans there warming up, ready to go. I love watching the outfits. It's all a little bit different. I saw jammers, board shorts, Speedos all happening yesterday. So we'll see what they've got on show for us.
That's it. The men are up next. The women's heat quarters have been run and done. I'll run you through the final. Maram Mahad Regal from Egypt, Brittany Inga from Australia, Evie Wong from Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Kazan Rastami from Iran, Brianna Irving from New Zealand, Sophia Giolotti from the US, Chloe Porton and Elise Dorignon from France. That is your A final that has already been decided. Your B final, Mariah Jones from Australia. That was one of those water athletes we were talking about. Leah Kotia from Germany, Aidan McDonald from Canada, Natsu Ishiguro from Japan, Jenna Tarr from South Africa, Millie Wiggins from GB and Northern Ireland, Madison Kidd from New Zealand, great run from Madison, and Anna from France. That's your B final as well. So the Australians and the Kiwis getting one into the B final. That's important for them there. That final is going to be absolute fire. And we spoke about it before. The Egyptians, the Iranians there really firing up. The Belgian, Porton in that final. She'll be very, very good. Dorignon from France, normally a surf athlete, getting it done there. So very, very quick. Irving and Inga, they will absolutely be firing up. Evie Wong, very, very good. And Giolotti from the US of A. They always bring their big guns out here, the US team, especially on the beach side of things. They've been so good for so long, especially on that beach flag side of things as well. So that one's going to be super tight. As we said before, the Egyptians, the Iranians, they're absolutely flying.
They are incredible, and they're just loving it being here in Australia. They've all travelled a very, very long way to be here. So to have them here, just seen on screen there, we've just missed the shot now, but I'm loving this. The Sunnies are coming out as well, and we'll have the Ocean Relay. They're going to go straight to finals, which will be later on today, that's one of my favourites. I love that the team gets together with that. I think it's fantastic. But going on before the little outfits, I've just seen there's a few Sunnies. We actually had a few Sunnies going on with the draggers yesterday in the surf tube. I thought that was fantastic. One of them actually made sure he didn't lose them before he grabbed his patience. So it's all a good time out there. And as we see the competitors now,
that looks like Fergus Eadie, the big lad there from New Zealand. Very, very good competitor. He's had a great couple of days over the last few days there. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes in this one there. Big lump of a lad. Looks like probably more of a footballer rather than a beach sprinter, but some of the big boys. Heat number 1 up in the men's beach sprint round. 7 heats, 4 going through to quarterfinals, 4 from those quarterfinals going through to semis, and then we'll have A and B finals. We'll run you through this one. From the right-hand side, Merton from the Netherlands, Shin from South Korea, Nunez Sheja from Argentina, Thompson from Sweden, Boyson from South Africa, Vikram from India, Fergus Eadie from New Zealand, and the athlete from Uganda maybe not lining up in this one there, which is good because I think it's Kitayama Wisi there from Uganda. I can't see him on the line, so I don't think he will be going there, but they made the trip all the way over from the African nation of Uganda, and hopefully he's just sitting this one out for the beach flags later on in the competition. Heat number 1, top 4 to go through. We've just seen the Paris Olympics. If you thought that was good, this will be better. The South Korean lad in lane 2 looks very fit and focused there. I think he'll be a shot very fast across the sand. Eadie at the top there, the big lad from New Zealand. Watch for him to absolutely fly. Vikram from India just inside him. Boyson from South Africa there, just playing with his lane ever so slightly. Thompson from Sweden as well. He's wearing the orange there. The Argentinian, he's in the green in lane number 3. Lane number 2, Shin from South Korea and Mertin from the Netherlands. The Netherlands, a rich history in beach competition. On the line, set, 4 to go through, 3 to miss out. Heat number 1 of the men's beach sprint, 2024 World Championships off and away. Very quick in the centre there, absolutely flying. Boysen from South Africa. Have a look at him go. He is absolutely streeted this one. 1 in a canter. The New Zealand, our Indian competitor, gets through as well. So Vikram and Edie will qualify, but Boysen from South Africa, put him in the final now. He absolutely flew Courtney Hancock. He was a class above.
That was incredible, wasn't it? It was almost like he was running on hot coal. He just absolutely flew and looked so light and fast. And here we go. Here's that replay. We needed a replay because he ran so fast. But look at that. He's pushing forward. Perfect technique. Nice long stride as well. A lot of strength. And look at the end. He didn't even have to go all the way through to the end.
Second place, maybe our Argentinian friend Nunez Seja there, who crossed the line. He dipped forward. Vikram from India was leaning back. I think that allowed Fergus Eadie to get in front. Our officials will give us the final result, but I think it is that. I think it's our South African, Elliot Thompson there, just in the middle of the shot. I think he missed out. All smiles, but it doesn't matter. But, yeah, Sam Boysen from South Africa absolutely flew there. I would say Vikram, Eadie, and then Nunez from Argentina will go through to the quarterfinals. What about that one? Not the run a couple of the other boys would have wanted, and this is for the final spot. Yes, it was Vikram from India. Great run there from the lad from India. And we had this conversation at home the other day. My wife doesn't know a whole lot about surf sports. She said India, and I said, yeah, India's got some of the most beautiful beaches anywhere in the world. You head down to the south, you head to places like Goa, absolutely beautiful. I've been there. Big surfing community, big surf community as well, and some really, really good surf breaks there as well. So no surprise that the Indians getting in on the act. And when you've got about 1 billion people over there, you've definitely got some athletes as well. That is for sure. So good to see the Indians absolutely flying. That is heat number 1, run and done. Heat number 2 on the line.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. And they love sport, don't they, the Indians? They absolutely get around it so much. And that's what all makes a difference, doesn't it, for the teams and the countries. It's about the coaches and management. It's everyone, the support behind these competitors. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with that. They run so incredibly fast and they train really, really hard to get that speed and power. They have to do a lot of work in the gym. So we'll wait and see. I'm excited to see this next heat.
This one's going to be very, very good as well. From top to bottom there, or furthest away, Stoutser from the Netherlands, Shogo Hori, watch for him, he's going to be very good. Hock Lin from Singapore, Elisad from Egypt, Huyun from Canada, Gnecki from Italy, Goff, Savage, and Andrew Wan close on the right-hand side. Have a look at Goff go. Absolutely flying the Australians. He is absolutely streeting this one away. No dramas from him there. Maybe the Canadian in there in second place as well. No dramas for him. The Egyptian lad flew as well. Shogo Hori should have got himself through that one. But Jason Goff, he is pure speed.
Oh, that was, yeah, he just looked like that. He just made it look so easy, and that's when you can really tell an athlete is running well, feeling good when they make it look easy. So that was incredible, and it's a good little hit out for them as well. They get a couple of runs before they go to the final, and I'm loving the drone shots across. We can really see all the athletes. We can see the distance between them all, and here we go. Here's another wonderful replay.
I call the Canadian there. It's actually the Egyptian lad, Ayman Mohamed El Saad there. He's done a great job to finish in second. Stoutser on the far side will get through as well. So that's your top 3. I'll leave fourth to the judges. I do not know, but the Egyptian, the Australian, and the lad from the Netherlands will get through. That's Jace Goff there. Very, very long history in this sport. Represented Australia very well. Yep, it was the Egyptian in second place. Had a great run. Big lad, very, very strong. The Egyptians come to party here. They are definitely in the mix in the beach events. They won both the beach relays at the last World Championships, and they will be ones to watch a little bit later on. So no dramas. Third place, yep, Stoutser on the far side from the Netherlands there. No problems, and we're chasing one more through to the final. Who will it be? We'll wait and see. Savage from Ireland. He's just come fresh off that board rescue as well. Heat number 3, Czech, Simonek there. Florian from France. Brang from Germany. Jensen from Norway. Petits from South Africa. Amgashi from Togo. Halog from Canada, Sepp Diaz from Iran, and Cotter from Ireland. Well, this is the most international heat I've seen in a long, long time. Your guess is as good as mine of where the speed will come from, but the man from Togo, the man from Iran, specialists here coming to do the beach events. I wouldn't count those lads out, that is for sure. And we wait to see how they're going to go. They're on the line, set and ready.
It's really cutthroat, isn't it? Only 4 going through. They've really got to get moving straight up. We saw that in the beach flag as well. They can't muck around. They've really got to make sure they're up the front. And you don't want it to come down to, I guess, the officials going through the replays. You want to make sure you get that clear top spot 4 spot.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. We're not down there at the moment, but maybe we can ask Ty a little bit later, is there a better lane than one? Because sometimes the beaches, they say that inside lane there, so where number 1 is closer to the ocean, is harder sand. But from looking at the drone top, it looked all very even and very, very fair. It all looked incredibly soft. So we're off for a start. And they're all going down for, like we saw on the Olympics, the athletics. Here we are, off for another start.
The track start there. Cotter on the left, Simoniak on the right. Oh, have a look at them go. Halog from Canada, absolutely flying there. He's going to be challenged by, I think, Jensen there from Norway. Oh, a little over the German, very strong as well. And Simonek from Czech just stumbled over the line there. Leave that one to the judges, but in the centre there, no dramas at all for that man. Halog, he did a fantastic job there. Looked very, very comfortable. Some of the best sprinters in the world out of Canada. Andre de Grasse in the last couple of years, he had a couple of gold medals at different Olympics there. So they've got a rich history in sprinting, the Canadians, and it's continued down here on the beach track.
Yeah, well, and this is the nerve-wracking moment, isn't it, to wait and watch and see what they come in. But here we go. Here's another replay. I love these replays because they run so fast. So to see that, look at that. You can see the sand flicking up behind them, and great technique. They really need to. You really do need to have a great technique when you're going across the sand, because if you don't, you'll bog down. Those feet need to be nice and light, nice and straight on your toes. So we actually do have Ty's made his way from the water now to the beach events.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, I love it up here in the sandpit because it brings out so many different international flavours. What about this? Roelof from the Netherlands of Dutch. He finished 3rd in heat number 2. Look at the size of the unit. But let me tell you another thing as well. He's doing the surf race a little bit later on. A man of many talents. How do you do it?
I love swimming and I love to do the pool. So, I love to swim in the surf too. And after the race and the run, straight back into the water.
Give us a bit of an insight to your training. Obviously, you must be able to do beach training, flag training, but also at home do some water training as well. Do you mix both or concentrate more in one?
I concentrate the most on the pool, the fins. I moved to New Zealand to train there, and I love it.
Well, Roelof, what about that? He's a natural runner, a bit like yourself, Joshy Minogue, but down the camera now, down the lens, in your native language of Dutch, all the way home, make a message to those following you here on YouTube.
Hey Nederlanders, bedankt voor het kijken en we zijn nog niet klaar. Dankjewel.
Mate, best of luck. Quarterfinal coming off. Roelof, he's up and about. And what about the physique? See you later.
Ty, we're loving the interviews down there, and there are some big lads going around. Heat number 4. Pereira from Brazil, Neo Junwan from South Africa, Jimenez from Spain, Orbadal from the Czech team, Minnesok Jin from South Africa, Lefeur, Germany, Sadbury from GB, Sankalpa from Sri Lanka, and Zaire from Iran. So we've seen a few of the Iranians down there. Off and away, very, very quick on this far right-hand side. Have a look at Zaire go, absolutely flying at the moment. These boys are off and away. The Brazilian competitor there, easy work, Pereira. Jimenez not too far behind him either. So it was all this end. Pereira, the Brazilian, and Jimenez, the Spanish athlete there. First and second, no dramas at all. Seems like the bottom end's had a bit of speed lately, and we can see Pereira there. We haven't seen the Brazilian cap all that often there. What a cap as well. Have a look at it. That might be the best one. Got the little sand crab at the top there, and he absolutely flew in lane number 1. Marco Jimenez from Spain. He was second in lane number 3 as well. Have a look at the start. It's all those first 10 steps, and I think Jimenez was in front early on. But have a look through this centre there. Pereira starts to wind up, goes past him, and the big look across. That was the difference there. The German Laufer, he got 3rd, and the British athlete, Sadbury, he'll go through to the quarterfinals in 4. So that one was relatively straightforward, and Pereira gets it done. They're a big one for Brazil. We haven't seen many of them. We talk about beautiful beaches around the world, and there are not too many places I've been on Earth that have beaches that can compare to what I've seen, and Brazil is one of those places. They're some of the most iconic stretches of sand anywhere in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. They are known, aren't they, for the ocean and the beach and being outside and out and about. And it's really a beautiful thing when we hear so many of the internationals come over and say how beautiful our country and how beautiful our beach is, because we know where they've come from and how beautiful the place they come from as well. So it's amazing. But I was just having a think about it. They're actually running with the wind, which they would be so grateful for the officials for with that northerly, not taking away from how fast they are, but definitely nice that they're going to it. So when we see the beach relays later on, I know which way I'd be wanting to pick which way to go.
100%. You spot on. Heat number 5, Teufel from Austria, Swiatek from Poland, Nerenja from Sri Lanka, Werza from Austria, Kot from Egypt, Tadej from Spain, Lorman from Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Kalitos of Indonesia, and Besenyi from Norway. The Austrian on the right, the Norwegian on the left, off and away. The centre in there absolutely flying. The Egyptian, have a look at him go there. He's being challenged by the Spanish athlete on the top side there, but the Egyptian does it in a canter. No dramas at all. Egypt, Spain, and GB, 1, 2, and 3. But Amrihan Kopt from Egypt absolutely flew there. I like the cap, the Egyptian cap as well. Very easy to see. Counts the lanes. Don't worry about it. You were first, brother. No dramas at all. And he'll be through to the quarterfinals. We love the work. Ty Dowker down on the beach. I think he's with our man Pereira, who just won that last heat, the Brazilian. We love the cap. We love the Brazilians. They are on fire.
Yeah, he's on fire. He's small in stature, but he's huge in heart. It's Ian Pereira. Now, he doesn't speak in English, so I'll have the translator here as well, and we'll pass the message on. But, Ian, very good race. How did that feel?
Me senti bem. O nível está bastante alto, mas também para representar o nosso país e dar o melhor que eu possa.
Feeling good, so the high levels of the competition, but they're training hard to do this.
Yeah, training very hard to do this. What are the beaches like to train at home, or do you do more track work to prepare for the beach?
É pouco diferente. A areia aqui na Austrália, no Brasil é pouco diferente. Aqui a areia é muito fina. Treino de domingo a domingo. E é isso aí.
The training all days, like it's Sunday to Sunday. In Brazil, a little bit different, the sand, but yeah, it's going on the way.
Now, down the camera, we're going around the world to all your friends back in Brazil, in Portuguese. What would you like to say?
Fala família, estou aqui representando a gente, nosso país. Vou dar o máximo. E é isso aí, manda de boas vibrações. E é isso aí, obrigado.
Yeah, she say my family, we stay here, we do the job, and let's go to the final, yeah?
Well, let's go on with the Brazil bus, and away we go. Quarterfinal coming up. Rip your knee and best of luck. Let's do it.
Yeah, obrigado down there. Love it. Good to see. We had this was the last heat we saw. That was our Egyptian athlete out in front. No dramas at all. Kopt. He got himself through. Lorman got there, and Swiatek from Poland was the other qualifier in that one. Heat number 6. So from Senegal, not in this one. I do not know if he's lining up there. Nah from the United States. Luke Homan from Hong Kong. Moshe from Switzerland. Oscar Smith from New Zealand. Watch for him. Epiphany from Togo. Jake Smith from Australia. And Morishita from Japan. So plenty of speed in this one. Watch for Jake Smith up on the side there. Not a beach sprinter, more of a pool athlete. Very good pool athlete, but he will absolutely fly. Oscar Smith in the middle as well. Connor Na from the US of A lining up, and Ndoye So from Senegal not lining up in this one either, and neither is our athlete from Togo. So we wait and see. Watch for the Japanese athlete on the top side as well. He'll be very, very quick. But have a look at the American go. Pure speed to burn. He's got enough time to look around. No dramas at all. Connor Na gets it done. Easy work for him there. Oscar Smith from New Zealand was very strong. But the Americans, first win of the day for them. it might be a heat, but it's a confidence-building one, and he looked very, very fast.
Yeah, it's always nice, isn't it? As you said, confidence builder. It's great to get out and, win a heat, win a quarter or a semi, because it just makes you feel like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to race. But I actually saw Jake Smith out there before. I just had a quick little break to grab some food, and I said, how are you going? He goes, oh, goodness, I've got the beach sprint coming up next. So as you said, he's more into the pool, but good on him. He's out here. He's having a go. Definitely doesn't train for this. So to be out there and, he just got fourth. So we'll wait and see. We might see him a bit later on.
His goal would be to get through to that B final. Just get some points. That's all he needs to do. You can see the start, and the start's everything. Like, I am no expert in sprinting, but those first 10 metres will set you up, and the American Connor Nah absolutely flew, and he could have kept going on with it, but I think he just put the handbrake on. No dramas at all for Oscar Smith as well. That top side, Morishita and Jakey Smith all got through. We say goodbye to the rest of the lads. Top 4, of course, from each of these heats through to a quarter final there, and that is exactly how it went. The last heat of this men's beach sprint competition coming up not too far away, and have a look at this one. Very, very good as well. Bottom of the screen, or the right-hand side of the screen in lane number 1, Santiago Leon Ruiz from Argentina, Siobhan from India, Swedblom from Sweden, Sang Pak Ho from Hong Kong, Tismail from France. We saw him in a couple of the water events earlier on. Rolesi from Switzerland, sorry about the pronunciation there, George William Muksaka from Uganda, and then Mogensen from Denmark. I don't think the Ugandan athlete has decided to line up, so we say goodbye to him, but Mogensen out there on his own. Plenty of space. The Argentinian, Leon Ruiz Santiago, last down, first up, off and away. A lot of speed on that right-hand side. The Argentinians, they've had a tough morning so far, but they might get a win here if they can keep going. In the centre there, the Frenchman doing a good job. So is our Swiss counterpart, but for the first time, the Argentinians get the W here in the men's beach sprint there, and he looked like it from the jump. He looked confident, he looked calm, he was the last one into the position, and he got up and away. No dramas at all. Ty Dowker is down on the beach. The first win of the day for the Americans. Connor looked like he was barely out of first gear.
Yeah, well, Noah Lyles step aside because the Sandman is here. Connor Kennard is pronounced for him as well from the Stars and Stripes. The nerves are done now. Must be good feeling getting that first race done.
Yeah, it feels great. I was really nervous. We were sitting around. I warmed up a little early because of the girls, but I kind of rested and warmed up again and felt great after that.
Mate, you look good as well. Give us a bit of an insight to your home club back in America under the Stars and Stripes. And what about the cheer squad we've got here as well?
So I'll start with my family, my parents, my brother there. I'm from Sussex County, Delaware, and I guard for Rehoboth Beach. So it's nice to have a little area that send 2 of our guards to the world stage.
Well, I know I'm getting rescued. I know I'll be first down the beach with this boy in particular. Now, down the lens all the way to America, the Stars and Stripes on YouTube here. They're supporting the World Lifesaving event. What do you want to say to all your friends at home?
You.
Rip in. There you have it. I think that's a YEWWW asterisk. Well done. Best of luck. Stars and Stripes. Connor's up and about.
Oh, step aside, Noah Lyle. Some of your best work down there, Ty. He absolutely flew in that last heat. This was the last heat there, and absolutely on fire there. The young Argentinian lad, Santiago Leon Ruiz there. He got the win only just. He had to dip across the line. The Swiss and French athletes were coming fast. So was the man from Hong Kong as well, so not too far away. That is all she wrote for the heats round of the men's beach sprint competition. 7 heats, top 4 through, 4 quarterfinals. There'll be 4 going through from each of those. Not really some surprise packets, but the Aussies and the Kiwis, they're not going to have it all their own way in this one. Sprinting, truly global event down here, and it's good to see a couple of these guys. Connor Kennard, and sorry about the pronunciation, I'm sure that's not the only one I've gotten wrong so far today, plenty of those, but he looked quick and he looked like he was in second gear. Japanese competitors, very good. The Egyptians, I think we're going to have an Egyptian athlete on the podium. We could have 2. Pereira from Brazil was very, very strong. The Canadian, he was a bit of a surprise packet as well. And Stoitzer, the big lad from the Netherlands in those early heats as well. So this one could go anywhere and any way. And crowd's loving it down there on the beach. Just heats action so far on a Saturday. And we're into that national teams competition. But it was an interesting heats round in that beach sprint.
Yeah, it certainly was, and they do a lot of running, don't they? Because a lot of these competitors also do the flags too, so they have to be very fit, and they're on the sand, which we know is so much harder than being up on a path. So the one thing I love about just running in general is it doesn't matter where you are, any part of the world you can run. You don't even need shoes. So that's why I love all these competitors. You know, they're talking about I love running, and they're from all over the world, and all you need is, you know, some clothes on, you know, no shoes, and you run along the sand. So it's fantastic, and I love that just how accessible running is.
Yeah, that is spot on. It is the global sport. It's the original sport, and we love to see it. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from a few of these heats there. Very, very good speed early on. Another lad that could get it done, that is for sure. That was Boyson from South Africa. I didn't talk about him in a recap, but he's looked comfortable. I would say maybe the favourite. Goff, Halog, Pereira, the winners, Cott from Egypt, and Kanar and Luan Ruiz. But I think that first win from Boyson looked like maybe the best run of the day so far. Very tight for the minor placings, and everyone's trying to battle it out. You just got to get as far as you possibly can in each of the rounds here. We take a look at all of these replays. The last one, well, won by the Argentinian lad, and I think Ty Dowker is down on the beach with one of the Argentinians there and the support crew as well. We're not too far away from hearing from him as well. They look like they're having a party there. We'll take a look at this one. The Spanish athlete, very quick, but it was Pereira in this, I think it was 6 of 7 heats, who absolutely flew there late in the game. He really stormed home very, very hard. You can see the dip there, gets it done. And in this final heat of the day, it was the Argentinian who got it done there. Fantastic performance all round from all these men. Courtney Hancock, very, very strong. And Ty Dowker is on the sand with our Argentinian friend.
Oh, how good is this? Down here with Santiago from that of Argentina. Had a phenomenal performance as well. Took out that heat. It was actually a dead heat for 4th position, so we'll have an extra one going through to the quarterfinals. But more importantly, in the last couple of days down at the beach, the Argentinian cheer squad, not only the pool but also the beach, have been unbelievable. Make some noise, team. Now, does that give you confidence lining up now for the quarterfinal to win? Great support that you have here on the beach. The great support that he has on the beach inspires him to run very fast in the quarterfinal coming up.
Sí, el apoyo de todos los chicos, de la familia que está en la casa, es fundamental para mantenerse ahí arriba en el deporte, porque estando solo es muy difícil, y sentir que estás llegando y te están alentando es lo máximo.
Yeah, you got to come back to me. That's how it works. It's 3-way. I realise you would have picked that one up, Josh. But more importantly, quarterfinal coming up. You must feel confident. After that first race.
Friends, he is the best support for him to stay here. So he's so happy to stay here in the competition and about his results.
He has great support on the beach, but also back at home in that of Spanish, which he'd like to say in Spanish all the way back to Argentina to his friends, a hello.
Bueno, gracias a todos. Sé que se juntaron a comer para apoyarnos, para mirarnos. Un saludo a todos. Gracias.
Make some noise. There you go. Team Argentina up and about. And what about this? Yoo-hoo.
Oh, we love to see it. Big gracias to all the athletes, the translators. I know we're doing it in English down here, and they're doing a fantastic job at getting it across. We love it. Ty's in the thick of the action down there and doing a fantastic job getting the interviews. And the Argentinians, they're loving it. Have a look at them getting involved. It's not a holiday. They've come out here to race, but they're having a hell of a time, that is for sure. And you would have been the same. You've done a couple of world championships around the world. You fall in love with the places that you travel to, don't you? When you go to Egypt, when you go to the Netherlands, when you go to France to race these competitions, you fall in love. You don't want to leave. You have an absolute blast, and they're memories that will last forever. That is for sure. And we're on the beautiful Gold Coast this time around, and you can't ask for much more, can you, Courtney Hancock?
Oh, you can't. I just love seeing those shots there, everyone getting around each other. They have travelled a very long, long way, and this is memories for life. You know, you don't get too much of that, I guess, in your life, that opportunity to be a part of these teams. You know, you've get older, obviously, have responsibilities and everything like that.
You're just too slow like me, but let's not talk about that.
You're fine. You're still fast. So it's a really good opportunity to be around and be all together. We heard Brian Murphy. He's got his couple of kids and his wife here, all the way from America. It's fantastic. And we've heard a lot of the athletes actually say how much support they have, their mum and dad, their brother, their sister. It's incredible. They've come so far, and to be over here, it's fantastic. And Ty and I spoke about yesterday, just through the COVID years, we haven't had this World Championships for a very, very long time. So I think the fact that all these competitors are coming over their team, coming over with their family, it's really, really special. And it's so nice, I think, from having that dark time of having COVID, not being able to travel, to now be out and about, and everyone's from all over the world. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, we love it, don't you? And the beauty, I guess, of this event is you may not get picked for your national team, like people like me, but you can come and race Masters, you can come and race Interclub. There is always an opportunity to come to the World Championships, be involved and put your foot on the line and really have a crack, because there's 3 weeks worth of racing, surf boats, Masters competition, national teams, interclub, pool rescue events. There is everything and every aspect of the Surf Sports Carnival that you can get involved in. So if you're sitting on the fence, if you thought, I was thinking about having a paddle and I don't know, or maybe you're sitting at home somewhere in the world and you go, it's just too hard. It's too hard to get there. It's not. They make it possible. They make gear transport possible. Race One, the great partner here at the Lifesaving World Championships, has supplied gear for a lot of the countries and a lot of the competitors, and I'm sure that they will continue to do that into the future, and that's what it's about. Make it happen. Let's get it done, and you will never regret the opportunity that you take. You'll never regret having a holiday, and I guarantee those memories will last forever. So get on board, get involved, and become part. We're just 2 years away from Morocco and the 2026 World Championships, and that's the next one. So start your planning now, and we're just coming up on round number 2 of the men's beach sprint competition. We'll take a look at the start list for heat number 1. Top 4 to go through to the semi-finals. Tajeja from Spain, Pereira from Brazil, he won his heat. Lawman from GB, Vikram from India, Jake Smith having to do it again. Wasn't pumped about doing it the first time, but you've got to do it for your team. Morishita from Japan, and Halog, he won his heat as well from Canada. Plenty of speed to burn for these gentlemen in here. Top 4 to go through, and you can see Jake Smith just getting a few last-minute instructions from Jason Goff, the actual beach sprinter there. He's learning on the job.
Isn't that fantastic? And that's what it's all about when you're a part of your team. You saw there, he was in his ear, helping him with that start, setting the little blocks up. That's just fantastic. And that truly is what it is all about. So, yeah, he's just helping there, just giving a little bit of instruction. Oh, here he's going to get down, and he just actually set it up for him. Yeah. So how good is that? Getting your beach sprinter, setting those blocks up for you. Well, He's got no excuses now, does he?
No excuses at all. The Canadians at the top in the white singlet, black cap, the Spanish competitor at the bottom right-hand side. Watch for the man wearing black there, the yellow and green cap of Brazil, Pereira. He was very, very good in his heat as well. So a couple of heat winners, a couple of boys who just scraped through. In 3, the green, that's Lawman from Great Britain. Vikram from India is in the orange in lane 4. Morishita is wearing the yellow, lane 6 from Japan, and white is Halo from Canada on the far side. So the first 10 steps have proven the difference in every single one of those heats. So if you can get away well, you can set yourself up, you can really cruise through. And these boys, it's all about getting off those blocks very, very quickly. And there's a few jittery young lads. I think the speed will come from the outside edges there. I think it will be the man in 2, the man in 7 that'll have the most of it there, and we wait to see who else qualifies. Top 4 to go through quarterfinal number 1 of the men's beach sprint competition. Off and away, and Pereira absolutely went off like he was shot out of a gun. It's the 2 heat winners side by side. Morishita's warming up into it as well. Watch him come late. The Japanese competitor looks over his shoulder, switches off, and I think Lawman from GB will get the last spot through. Jake Smith from Australia misses out in GB. He was happy with that. There was a little skip after the line because he knows he's got himself some points there. But the speed came from Pereira, Halog, and Morishita. They were a cut above the rest of that field.
Yeah, they certainly were. And I almost feel like the energy there the pace has lifted. I know this is the quarterfinal now, so they all want to get to that next level. And You can see the few of them there just getting ready now. They know they've made it through and getting ready for that next round.
Yeah, fantastic performance. That's the man there, Sam Lawman, who got 4 through there. Have a look at the jump from Pereira. That section there, he absolutely flew. Halog and Morishita tried to go with him, and I think the Japanese athlete in yellow looks over the shoulder there. He could have continued on, but he just put the brakes on, and here's the race for the last spot. Lawman dips ahead of the Australian and the Spanish athlete there and just gets himself through to the final on that one. Vikram a little bit off the pace from India there, but what about the speed on those outside lanes? Great job. Lawman will get through, 4th place. I think, I'll leave it to the judges, probably Pereira in 1. Halog from Canada in 2. Morishita, although he probably could have won that one very easily, in 3. And Lawman in 4. They'll get a spot in the semi. And more importantly, they will score some points for their nation. You just need to get through this one and you'll get something for them. And that is the important part. And, well, one of the Aussies missed out on the points here. And if the Kiwis can get another one through, that's vital points for that overall point score. Interesting as well, no Italians got themselves through. Actually, no Italians got themselves through to this round of the beach sprint competition. So the team that was leading after the pool events, the Italians, they look comfortable out in front. Haven't really stood out in the surf events so far and will get no points in this men's beach sprint either. So that lead's going to really get cut down by the Australians, the Kiwis, and all the rest of the nations, if we're completely honest.
Yeah, they would have been a little bit disappointed with that. As you said, these points are really up for grabs at the moment, and in every single event, you really need to get your competitors through in every single one. But we move on to that heat number 2 now. So we do actually have Denmark, Australia, Great Britain, France, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, and Egypt at the end there. So look out for that speed, and here we are for a start.
Yeah, Jason Goff at the bottom, El Assad at the top there. Jimenez not too far his way. The Egyptian at the top, absolutely flying. Goff looks across there, almost stumbles. He gets through there. So it's El Assad from Egypt, Jimenez, maybe Stoitzer and Goff that get through. 3rd and 4th between Stoitzer and Savage, I do not know there, but definitely the Egyptian lad. He led that one, looked comfortable early. Goff, well, maybe it was up into 3rd or 4th gear there. I think he's got a little bit left in the tank, but not too much. And the boys on the outside's very strong. Jimenez, that's him there from Spain in the white. He will walk through to that one as well. And then maybe Stoitzer. Have a look at here. The jump on the bottom side, very good from Goff. But have a look, the Egyptian runner through the middle, very strong. Tall, pumps those arms, gets going. Absolutely flying. And then the dip on the line for the last one through there, Stoitzer and maybe Tissa from France. I do not know. The judges will pick that one. But Egypt, Australia, Spain, and the Netherlands will go through.
Oh, that was so close, wasn't it? They've got so many officials, as you can see. They can actually watch it on repeat. They're filming this. Obviously, they've got the live stream as well, but they can definitely film it so they get the correct position. So Egypt doing extremely well, aren't they? We talked about how much sand they have, that accessibility of having that different kinds of sand. We see Ty there making a lot of friends. Absolutely.
Down on the beach.
Absolutely. He's doing an incredible job. Love hearing those interviews. But it is, it starts to get heartbreaking here because it's becoming down to those little tiny centimetres of whether you're going to be in the semi or whether you miss out.
Yeah, that's exactly right there. El Assad there got himself through. Goff, Jimenez, and it was Stoitzer there, all going through to the semi-finals. They'll all score points for their nations. A fantastic performance by all those gentlemen there. A little bit of speed in that one. So the change has been noticeable between those heats and that second round, that is for sure. We're not too far away from quarterfinal number 3 either. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they go. Quarterfinal number 3, the German Brang Patisse from South Africa. Kopp, he won his. The Egyptian in lane 3, Florian from France, Laufer from Germany, Canard from the United States, and Roesley from Switzerland as well. We take a look. Brang on the right-hand side from Germany, but have a look at the speed in the middle. Connor Canard absolutely flying. Kopp from Egypt as well. Canard found another gear. Canard easily got it done. Second place, the Egyptian. There, the rest of it I'm going to have to leave to the judges. Maybe the Frenchman in there as well, but from the US of A, he was flying high after the heat, and I think that run was better.
Yeah, you can see them really starting to wind up the wheels, aren't they, in this one? They're getting quicker and quicker. There's definitely a couple of them we haven't seen at that full speed, as we see another wonderful replay there. And you're so right, Josh. Right from that start, he really took it out there. And the fact that he does that, he can now relax towards the end. He has a look to the side and doesn't have to push it.
Yeah, the Frenchman and Laffer, one of the two Germans, got themselves through there. Easy work there from those four boys. Ty Dowker on the beach.
Yeah, well, we just saw Connor Kennard come through, and I tell you what, Stars and Stripes, he's looking very, very good, but he's got a great team behind him. In particular, Amelia being mum and John being dad. First of all, a big welcome to Australia. First time in Australia as well. How do you like Australia?
Awesome. Friendly people, beautiful. It's great.
That's great. Now, more importantly, John, it must make you very proud to see your son not only representing America, but doing very well in the quarterfinal there.
Yes, he is. Very proud.
And then probably the last question, because we've got the semi-finals, another quarterfinal coming up. Where does he get his running ability from? Is it mum or is it from a dad?
Both of us.
Oh, that's good. Stay on top of the fence there. But what about that? It's all family affair for the Stars and Stripes USA, and best of luck for the semi-final. And I'm sure we'll be in the final as well.
Thank you so much.
Diplomatic from mum and dad down there. I know my mum and dad would have said me, but very good job by the Americans there. Yeah, it was like we called it. No dramas at all. Here we go. Boyson in one. He was electric in his heat there, the South African. Poland, the two Argentinian men with the white caps side by side, and then the two Kiwis here. Off and away. Boyson absolutely flying on the right-hand side. He'll go out. Oscar Smith doing a fantastic job for New Zealand as well. And then it looks like maybe the two Argentinian lads to get through there. Oh, a dip on the line for Fergus Eadie for the second of the Kiwi lads there. No dramas from Boyson. No dramas for Oscar Smith. One of the Argentinians definitely through, 100%. I think that's Santiago Leon Ruiz. But then it comes down to Fergus Eadie or Luciano Nunes Seja there for the final spot. The Kiwis will be sweating on this one. If they can get one through, double points for their beach sprinters. The Australians didn't get it. Let's take a look at the replay. Boyson on the bottom, pure speed. Oscar Smith there from New Zealand, the black cap in the centre, absolutely flying. The two Argentinians are in at this point, but the lad in red starts to fade. Fergus Eadie coming hard. Oh, the dip. And I think the Argentinians will get two through to the semi-final.
Yeah, it was really interesting looking at that heat. You actually saw the two New Zealanders and the two Argentinians in the same heat, and that's just what happens.
Random draw, yeah.
All a random draw, so we'll wait and see, but that one was very, very tight.
Oh, so tough there, and Oscar Smith looked like he was flying. The New Zealand are the defending champions in this event with Michael Hanna from 2 years ago. Zustovic got second. Riley De Mornay from South Africa, and we could have a South African winner here. I think the favourite after that one, we're going to see a Sam Boyson and Connor Kennard showdown in that final. Those two lads have looked the fastest so far, in my opinion. Oscar Smith will be there without a shadow of a doubt, and so will Jason Goff. But those four men, pure speed, and this might have been the fastest of all those quarterfinals so far with those two lads out in front. Very, very good speed.
Yeah, they were super quick then. I think they also looked across at each other on that start line and thought, okay, we're going to have to go here. Let's not muck around. So it's we're just getting the positions now, so we'll be able to get that for you in one moment.
Yeah, that's spot on. Two of the Argentinian men get through that one. Santiago Leon Ruiz and Luciano Nunez Sierra, they get through to the semi-finals. Double points for Argentina. Let's go. They are absolutely on fire. Fergus Eadie finishes in fifth. Swedblom from Sweden and Swiak from Poland in 5, 6 and 7 there. They are the four quarterfinals run and done here in the men's beach sprint. Two semis coming up, and that will clarify whether you're in the A or B final. So remember, if you don't qualify for the A final, you still have to run again in these events because there will be a B final as well. We're not too far away from that one. Great action all day down in the sandpit. We're loving it at the moment, and a good change up from all those water events.
Yeah, it certainly is. And a lot of the athletes are doing both. Or three. They've been doing pool events, beach, and Ocean. Now that is multi-talented, isn't it? And I can tell you what, after tomorrow night, they will definitely deserve some celebrations because the legs and arms are really going to be feeling it before they recover and get ready for next week. So it's been incredible, the fitness and the strength and the work that goes into this. So we look at the athletes and they talk about it. They're all very humble, but the amount of hours that they put into this, and a lot of them work full time as well. As we heard from Brian, he has a family, so working full time, a family, and fitting your training is for this competition. It's a really full-on life, so it's fantastic to see them all. And as we can see the split screen going back to some pool action. Look at that.
Yeah, plenty going on there. The youth competition going on over at the pool heats at the moment. We've had some races in the surf as well. While these beach sprints have been going on, the final of the women's surf race has been decided. Bear with me as I run through them. Abrahamsen from Sweden, Hocking from GB, the Germans Gerbhardt and Holt, Sarah Tazaki, Margot Fabry from France, Bork Barker from Sweden, McMurray from Canada, Naomi Scott, Vivaldi from Argentina, Romanini from Belgium, Mitsui from Japan, Magli Rosso from France, Li Yan Tung from Hong Kong, Jozova, the Czech athlete, Manzano from Spain, Shivnant from New Zealand, the Fuest from Spain, Hartz from Belgium, LeBlanc from Canada, Kelsey Cummings and Lana Rogers, the US and Oz athletes, Burmeister, Tata, Giovanelli from Italy, Boris Mills from South Africa, She from Ireland, Roodhouse, Corin, Klomp, Voigt and Zvaya. They are the women's surf race finalists. Ty Dowker, it's all happening down on the beach. What do you got for us?
Yeah, the surf race finals are coming up, but more importantly, we've got the semi-final, the male beach sprints. And that's the National Open World Championships. But I love the support on the fence line. Here we have South Africa. What about yesterday? Outstanding. The females 2 days ago in the youth won the beach relay. Then they went back-to-back in the beach flag. They're up and about South Africa here. Then we come to probably the most vocal, and they know how to party. Look down the camera, give us a wave. Argentinians, look at them. They're up and about, ready to go as well. But I love the little man, the man from Brazil. What about these? Flying solo with support here as well, ready to go. And how can we go past the stars and stripes of the family? Not only mum and dad, but also younger brother is the cameraman for the US team. They're family invested. They're ready to go. Semi-finals not far away.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Ty. That is exactly right. The semi-finals are not too far away. They'll be warming up the back there and also recovering as well and taking that hydration. It's been a really, really big morning, but again, I just love that there's so much that not only the team are there, but also their family support have travelled all this way. And look at that, Josh. They are back and ready to go straight into it.
Yeah, they're on fire at the moment. It's a lot of tough racing, back and forward, back and forward. You don't stop there when you're a part of this national team. We'll take a look at semi-final number 1, and they head down the line. Jimenez from Spain, El Saad from Egypt, Boyson, Harlog, Goff, Oscar Lewis-Smith, Nunez Sager, and Laufer from Germany. This one's quick. I don't want to be in this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in any of them, but this one has probably 3 of the men that I thought could win this one. It's a tough random. That's how random draws work. It's not evenly split, and these boys are. Well, Boyson looked very comfortable. Oscar Smith absolutely flew. Jason Goff is a chance. Halog won his, and El Saad from the nation of Egypt. He looked absolutely on fire early on, so he's down in 2, and all the speeds in the centre there. Lanes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I would expect to be through to the final, and that doesn't really compute because there are realistically only 4 spots there, and this one's going to be very, very tight for these men. There's no more mucking around. There's no more second gear. You are all in on this one.
Yeah, this is on right from that gun, absolutely. So 8, halve that, only 4 going through. So it's not much.
It's not much at all, and you're going to have the rest of the guys go to the B final later this afternoon, but the points differential between the A final and the B final massive. You can get maximum points there if you're in the A final, and you halve that down to the B final there. That's Jason Goff. He's been here before. He's been at the top level for a very, very long time. He's been an interclub world champion in the past in a number of events. Halog there from Canada. He'll be fired up. Looked really good early on. Looked great in the heat there. His semi was a little tighter, and he's really going to have to be on song here. Boyson on his right-hand side, the man in green from South Africa, has looked the best so far by a country mile in my, less than expert opinion. The man in black from Egypt, El Saad, Jimenez from Spain on the right-hand side, Laufer and Nunez on the left-hand side. I think they were done for speed after that semi, but we'll wait and see. And Oscar Smith, he really is, well, I guess the dark horse in this one. One of the best beach sprinters in the world, but didn't have massive raps on him coming into this one. We had a few of the international guys that were sort of talking up, but that last round of his was absolutely lightning quick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With athletes, you go through troughs, you go through peaks and injuries, and we've heard a couple of the athletes saying, we've seen Corey Taylor, they go through injuries. So there's a lot they've got to experience in life and try and get their body, coming to this event 110% fresh, fit, injury-free. So it's it's a challenging one, and especially being such an explosive athlete, you can have your carpal twing, and there's a lot of things that can happen. So essentially, if he's at his best form, he's looking good at the moment. So I think anything can happen. I love the fact that Australia and New Zealand are going to be eyeballing each other the whole way.
In the centre there.
They're in the centre, but you're right, Josh. This is a really, really tough one, and we're going to split that field in half. So. And here they are.
Off and away in the centre, absolutely flying at the moment. Much more even than we've seen in the last couple of rounds. It looks like they're Goff absolutely flying. Here comes Oscar Smith. Jimenez dips and tries to get himself closest through to that. But Oscar Smith, Jason Goff absolutely flew. Boyson, I think, will get there as well. I don't know about fourth place. Maybe El Saad from Egypt there, but wow, that was really, we've seen these two boys side by side step it up. And Oscar Smith, he came to party there because he wasn't mucking around. He wasn't giving them any opportunity at all. And I think he went from I thought he was in second gear in that last round. He might have still been in first, but he definitely ramped it up there.
Yeah, you definitely saw the body language change from that Heat 1 to now the semi-finals. They all were not having those chats beforehand. They were just focused on what they were doing, setting themselves up, and here we go as a replay. They were out and about very, very fast.
Yeah, have a look at Jason Goff. Absolutely flew. Oscar Smith starts to wind up there. Boyson still in it up to his eyeballs. El Sayed there. Oscar Smith come over the top late. That last 10 metres was electric from him, and Jason Goff just started to fade. No more as a beach flags competitor, so he's got that early speed, and we saw him get out very, very hard, and yeah, really, really tough. Oscar Smith looked fantastic there. Not the best start. If he can get that right, it'll be his race to lose in that final. And the Kiwis are happy. The Australians are happy. The South Africans are happy. And I think the Egyptians will be ecstatic with this one. So that's your top four through. We say goodbye to a couple of lads. The Canadians, the Spanish, the Argentinians, and the Germans. They'll all be in the B final later on this afternoon.
So they still have an opportunity to get those points and get some good points, because if you do win that B final, you get points for 9th position, which is very high up. So they've done very, very well, and they look very tired, don't they? They haven't had a lot of break between these run-offs, so they sat in the sand there and just getting those singlets off, which will get ready for that semi-final number 2, which will be up in a moment. Here they are on screen.
Yeah, this one, I like this one a little bit more in terms of, I guess, where you'd want to be. The Argentinian on the right-hand side in lane number 1, Santiago Leon Ruiz. Florian from France in 2. Pereira looks strong from Brazil in 3. He's wearing the green with the green cap. Kops from Egypt, black cap, orange top. Morishita from Japan looks strong. Stoitzer's the big lad in yellow from the Netherlands. Connor Kanar. He's in white. He's wearing the red, white and blue, the stars and stripes of the USA. And Sam Lorman only just got through, and he's going to have a huge task if he wants to get through to this final. This one will be interesting. Kopt, Connor Kanar, Morishita and Pereira are your big four. Off and away. Pereira absolutely flying. Connor Kanar, not the jump he wanted, but goes to the front. Kopt coming at him. Connor Kanar hanging on. 3 races, 3 wins so far. Kopt gets there as well. Morishita, and I think Pereira, he went flying over the line, but the big four in this one, they did the job there. And Connor Kanar, that's the hardest I've seen him work.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to go there, and that's it. It's so easy to miss out on that final, so you can't muck around in the semis. So he did very, very well, and yeah, that one was also very spicy.
Interesting as well, they're sprinters, it's explosive power, but most sprinting events, you don't do back-to-back-to-back races. You might have one in the morning, one in the afternoon, you come back the next night for the final. So maybe getting a little bit flat here. Kanar was very, very good through this section, but here come Kot, the Egyptian, storming through that centre. He just stumbled ever so slightly. Kanar with an easier win in the end. Morishita and Pereira, I didn't even see the big Frenchman at the bottom there coming very, very strong, very late. Florian just not enough to get there, and Pereira, well, he looked good early, but stumbled at the end there, and I think he's got himself home, and you got to feel sorry for the Frenchman there because he did everything right and just not enough lanes in the final.
Yeah, he almost had a slower start for him, and then he came back so fast at the end. So but he will be in that B final, and he'll definitely be one of the favourites going into that one.
Yeah, perfect performance there from Connor Knar. He's had a couple of races, 3 races, 3 wins. Easy work from the big fella there. You love to see it. We've got our final set and ready to go, and that is one race I'm looking forward to. And I guess just like the board rescue, Courtney Hancock, not something at the start of the week if you said, oh, what are you looking forward to? I wouldn't have said the beach sprint, but after watching those heats, this one's going to be absolutely fire.
It will be, absolutely. And they now get a big rest, which I'm sure most of them are pretty happy for.
Looking forward to, yeah.
You made a great point. Sprinters and explosive athletes, they don't usually have to go back-to-back. They're very different to water and pool. So for these athletes to be able to do that, you see a few of them because they are going at full speed. So their heart rate would have been up very, very high. So a little bit of fitness came to this, and I think that's why you saw a few wobbly legs towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah, you're spot on there. And maybe some of the athletes that are maybe don't have that pure speed but got a bit of endurance sort of started to come to the fore as well, found a way to get into it late. And great job all round by these athletes. Fantastic performance. We've got our final set and ready to go. And we're not too far away from having a chat down on the sand with Ty Dowker. Ty, I think you got a couple of the Egyptian boys there. They were flying in those semi-finals.
Yeah, we've got the Egyptian boys here, but what about this? They are 2 now in the final, in the A final, in a world-class event. We've got Ayman and Amar. Must make them very proud. Congratulations. They must be very happy to be in the final. Now, the boys in particular, do they train together in Egypt?
They are both in Egypt, in Cairo, but in different teams. But in the national team, of course, they are training together, since a long time, maybe 2 years from.
Now, I believe, guys, as well, that they're a team of beaches with one swimmer only. Is that correct?
Yeah, this time, we have only one swimmer. He's doing the surf now. Wish him good luck. And
I wish him good luck. I love that.
Please. And the rest are runners and flaggers.
World Championships, is this the first time they've been to a World Championships, and yourself as well?
For Ayman, it's 4th. For Amr, it's the 1st. For me, I'm doing the Masters for the 2nd time.
And I think 36 years of age. 36 years of age, and how old is Amir?
21.
21 and 36, and we've got Johnny just dropping in with us as well. But it must be a very great moment. Now, in Arabic, if you want to talk down the lens, the camera, to your friends in Egypt, to wish them very luck, would you like to talk? Which one was it?
أنا أحب أشكر الاتحاد وأحب أشكر بابايا ومامتي وعيلتي كلها اللي هم وقفوا معايا الفترة اللي فاتت دي كلها.
Well, there you have it, from the golden beaches of the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, all the way to that of Egypt. Best of luck in the final, and rip in. Well done, guys. Well done.
Go the Egyptians. We'd like to see it. Well, they did win the beach relays last time we were here at the national competition. And speaking of the beach relays, it's time to get it on. Round number 1. We've got 4 heats of the women's beach relay coming up, and the Egyptians, they'll be a chance. They won both last time. On the women's side of things, Egypt from Iran, Australia, New Zealand and Spain in 2022. The men's side of things, Egypt, Germany, France, New Zealand and South Africa were our top 5. So we'll take a look at heat number 1. The Canadians, the Australians, the Argentinians, the Swiss, Sweden and Egypt. Watch for the defending champions set to go in lane number 6. I think the Egyptians bringing a full team of beachies really sort of plays into their hands when they come to these events. The Australians, 80% of the events in the teams competition are water events, swimming based. So they bring majority of their staff is swimmers. If you come in just for the beach events, you can load up on it. You've got a huge advantage because these girls, they're going to have a swimmer, a ski paddler, and then 2 beachies running. It's going to be really tough for them to win. The Egyptians, they're fit and fiery.
Exactly, and they're nice and fresh as well. They're going to have light, fresh legs going into this. You've got a lot of the other athletes, they're multitasking. They've done the pool, they've also done the ocean. So they will be ready to go. They'll have a lot of good energy happening. And, I love it. You've got to play to your strengths. And they've been very tactical. And I guess being in Egypt, when we were listening to them before, they have that more of that opportunity to be on the sand. So I love it. I love that they're here. They've come a long, long way. And the fact that they have a full a full team for this beach relay is fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing a great job there. We can see the girls lining up, set and ready to go. The Australians, they will have Brittany Inga off the front first. Naomi Scott, Lana Rogers, Mariah Jones in there getting it done. Very interesting team from them. The Canadians, watch for them. They were very good in the men's side of things. The Swedes, the Argentinians, and the Swiss in the centre of the field. Top 6, 4 to go through, I think. Inga there looks across. Speed to burn for her. Very, very good beach sprinter. Very good beach competitor. She'll want to set this one up. And coming down to relays, we talk about speed, we talk about team composition, but it's all about changeovers. You can't win it if you don't get the flag to the finish. You've got to hand over that baton and get it to the finish line. And that's about slow. You've got to slow down to go fast. If you can't really slow yourself down, make sure you get good changeovers. All the foot speed in the world isn't going to make a difference. The girls are off and away. Australia all immediately to the front. That's Brittany Inga absolutely flying as well. These girls are off and away. Egypt sticking with them at the top there. Have a look at the Egyptians go. Canada in third, Argentina in fourth, the Swiss and the Swedes trying to hang on. Egypt coming here. This is where having all the beachies is really going to make a difference. Egypt down in 1, Australia in 2. Canada had a great changeover to move up into third place. It's all important to get it before the line. Lana Rogers, one of the beach competitors, will go. The Egyptians continuing to go away. Oh, look at the gap opening up. Absolutely massive here. The Egyptians have come to party. They've got 2 in the men's final, and it looks like they're going to have one of the women's teams absolutely street at home. The Australians are still in second. The Canadians in third. And the Argentinians, have a look at the Canadians come over the top of the Australians there. But Egypt absolutely dominate this heat. Canada in 2, Australia in 3, Argentina in 4, Switzerland in 5. They will miss out moving forward. But what about that one from Egypt? Those 2 middle runs, unbelievable.
It was really tactical. I think they might have had their 2 quickest athletes, in the middle there, because they just absolutely steam trained away, didn't they? And they look good. They almost had a little smile on their face when they were doing that. They're here, they're enjoying themselves. So it's really interesting watching. You can almost kind of see the difference between obviously the beach competitors to the water, purely from just a technical side of things. Yeah. You obviously see the water competitors have their arms a little bit low. They're used to doing the longer running, but fantastic job. Good on the water athletes for getting in there, having a dig and giving it them their all.
They're good runners, but let's be honest, and I don't think a few of the girls would mind me saying that, they look like they were running up and down on the spot compared to the pure beach sprinters, because they're just that good. Those girls from Egypt, the last leg from Canada, I think it was Aiden McDonald, absolutely flew home, and it's the difference between being a professional sprinter and being a water athlete just trying to fill in a team. You can be fast around the transition, but you can't be fast like this. Inga's start from Australia was absolutely flying off and away. She got the jump on absolutely everybody, and her first 10 steps were as good as I've seen. But the Egyptian girls, they hung in there in that opening leg and then really, really stormed home late. Transitions seemed good. All the judges seemed very, very happy. The Canadians worked their way into it, but this is where Egypt really went away. Legs 3 and 4, they absolutely flew in the gap. Have a look at that gap, and have a look at the bottom. The Canadians come, and that's what we're talking about. That's a quick runner, but a surf athlete up against a pure beach sprinter.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just see that they're a little bit fresher as well. The girls from the Ocean have been going back to back, and that just shows that fresh legs, but also look like the girl's name is Scott. She knew that she was going to get through, top 4 going through, so she could really put the brakes on. She does have her, obviously, her Ocean Ironwoman final. That's later on today as well. It's potentially we could have the swim as well. So she's definitely got a big loaded program. So she could have relaxed a little bit at the end there, but I tell you what, it's fantastic to see the Egyptians coming through. They are amazing, and they are built for this.
Yeah, that's it. They're absolutely on fire. Fantastic performance from the ladies. Heat number 2, Spain, Japan, Singapore, Czechs, Austria, and the US of A. The US have a few of their surf athletes in there as well, a few recognisable names in there. We'll take a look at a couple of these nations as well. Expect some big things from them. They might have brought out all pure beach sprinters here. So this one might be a little bit tighter in terms of those final few qualifications, but we're going to see a few blowouts, that is for sure here, especially in the heats rounds. Spain closest to screen, Japan in there just next to them. Above those guys, Singapore, the Czechs, Austria there. A lot of red and white in this one, and the red, white and blue of the US fired up there. That's the Singapore team. Made the trip out. Japanese girls. Japan. Beachies from Japan for a long time have been, to say world class is probably understating it, to some of the best in the world. They come out here to the Australian Championships. We see them once or twice a year out here on our terms, and they get the job done. They don't care where it is in the world. They manage to find a way to win, and beach sports in Japan and surf sports in Japan is very, very good. So this will be interesting to see how they go. Heat 2 of 4 here in the women's beach relay. Spanish closest to us. The girls are set, ready to go for the final. Off and away, reasonably clean from everybody as they start to wind up. Have a look at that. The US at the top, the Spaniards at the bottom. Japan going very, very strongly as well there in third place. The US got the best of the jump, but the Spaniards really ran into that one. Clean changeovers is what we're looking for. We start to get going here for the ladies, and in the second leg, a couple of the water competitors for these ones. Watch a couple of those teams work their way back into it. Spain still in 1. The US in 2. Clean changeovers is what you need, and they've got that in 1 and 2. 3 has changed. 4 has changed. The race for 3rd and 4th is really starting to come together as well. Japan's still there, and they're starting to motor. Spain out in 1. The US in 2. Here come Japan. They're closing the gap on this one. The Japanese very strong in this third leg, but it's still out in front. Spain, the US, Japan, 1, 2, 3. These three teams will have no issue at all getting through. The race for 4th place is where it's at. The Czechs are doing a fantastic job in 4th place, but it looks like coming very fast is Austria as well. 1, 2, 3 is home. The Czechs and the Austrians are going to try and get there. The Czechs maybe get there. I do not know. Very, very tight for that final spot through to the next round.
Yeah, it was really tight, and you just saw those girls actually going into the wind. You can see how much tougher it is. They have to kind of push in and go a little bit lower compared to the girls running from the north to the south, which they're obviously a little bit quicker. So tactics might have played them as well. Get some of the stronger runners to maybe run into the wind. But it's all about that changeover, isn't it? You can win and lose so many meters in that time, and obviously disqualification, it can happen a lot in this event too. So everyone has to be really, really aware of where they're at, and it's a really good practice for that final coming up later today.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about the wind conditions and where you put your sprinters, and I guess we saw that a bit from the Aussies, putting your stronger runners. Britt Inger, first leg into the wind, get it done. And interesting one there, much more even than we saw in the first one there. The Americans, the Spanish, the Japanese, 1, 2, 3, and then really tight for that 4th spot. The Czechs just hung in, and they managed to get it home. I don't know how, but they managed just to hold on there. You can see the changeovers here. You've got to get it done before that line. If it's after the line, it's a disqualification, 0 points, and that can really wreak havoc on your overall chances of winning a title here, and it'll be safety first for these girls in the heat rounds at the very least.
Yeah, definitely safety first. I actually saw, I can't remember what team it was off the top of my head. Actually, it was Jamaica actually in the Olympics, and they actually dropped the baton in the I think it was a 4x400, and I was so sad because the rest of the girls didn't actually even get the chance to have their run, and that was some of the girls in that relay. That was their only run for the whole Olympics, so it was really heartbreaking. So this is where the teams need to practice and go through, make it perfect, know the runner that you are receiving the baton from or returning. So it's massive in this relay. You can be a really great runner, but that transition is so important.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're spot on. Changeovers are everything. It's like you've got your 4 runners and then their ability to change over. It's like the 5th element of this beach relays here. We take a look at heat number 3. The starters in this one, the Netherlands. They will go in lane 1 closest to us, the orange cap. Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Sri Lanka, Germany, Iran and Hong Kong. Iran finished 2nd in this event 2 years ago at the World Championships, so top-tier athletes ready to go in this one. It'll be interesting to see what they've brought with them. 1 or 2 of the ladies through to that final in the individual beach sprint. They'll add a couple more, and super competitive to get into that Iranian beach relay team, because they just come here for the beach events. You don't see too many of them doing the water events here, and it's good to see the ladies out here representing their nation, and geez, they do it well. Every single World Championships, they tend to come home with a medal off the beach, and they'll be looking for something here as well, and I think they want to go one better. I think silver last time was good. Gold is what they're here for.
and it's been a big break in between as well. So they will certainly be wanting to, as you said, better themselves from that last time. And here we are, the girls looking for that. So we're actually missing a team in the middle there, which potentially could
Sri Lanka, I think,
yeah, Sri Lanka's out. So here we go, Josh. They're off for another start.
Yeah, GB, very, very quick out of that start. So she's absolutely flying at the moment. The young lady from Great Britain, Iran in second place, Germany in third, the Netherlands, and then Hong Kong bringing us through. First changeover, very tight for Team GB there. Comfortable for Iran and the Germans as well. So that top three at the moment. Here comes Hong Kong trying to get that fourth spot. Have a look at them. They've gone straight past the Netherlands and Iran out in front. Clean changeover there from Iran. They're starting to street away. GB's going after them. So is the Germans. They're doing their best to get through there, but Iran are proving why they were the runner-up at the last World Championship there. That 50-metre stretch from those two athletes, unbelievable. Oh, not the best change, but got it done. No dramas. Looking very comfortable out in front. And she can just switch off right now, cruise through to the line, and that is why Iran is one of the medal favourites in this one here. Not the best changeover we've ever seen, but enough to get it done there. And have a look at the gap. Daylight second to GB. The Germans and the Netherlands. Hong Kong fought very hard through the centre there. Lightning quick run from their second runner in there, but not enough to get them through to the final. And that will be all she wrote for Sri Lanka. They don't get through there, and I think the Germans as well. For Hong Kong as well. They go home. So the Netherlands, GB, Germany and Iran will go through to the next round.
Iran, they looked so good, didn't they? Yeah, just that last changeover. Hope we didn't put the jinx on them. We were talking about how important that changeover is before that race.
Curse.
But you're better off to do it now than the final. So they'll be able to reset, talk to their coaches and go, okay, what can we do better? They were able to also watch the live stream if they want as well. And here's that little slow-mo replay that we've got again off that start. So really, really quick off. It's really interesting. I think there's a lot of, generally back in the day, you'd put your fastest last, second fastest first, and then the middle, your third and fourth. But at the moment, we obviously saw Australia bring their fastest runner off first. I think it's a little bit different. So we're seeing a lot of speed in the middle as well, not necessarily just at the start and the finish. So it's going to make for a really good final later today.
You're spot on. And the way that the teams are set up and how much pressure it can put on an athlete. Like if you put your fastest athletes first, you're out in front. Maybe your last runner is your worst runner, but they rise to the occasion. Or maybe they feel that stress and they don't have the run they want. So coaches will look at the people they've got. Are they one of those people who loves the big moments? Maybe throw them last. Do they get a little stressed and maybe they don't enjoy it all that much? Maybe hide them in the middle somewhere. So tactics come into play. That is for sure when it comes to these relay events, and that's why these coaches get paid the big bucks. And we've got one more quarterfinal coming up for these ladies, and a couple of these teams I'm looking forward to watching as well. South Africa, Italy, New Zealand, Poland and France in that final semi. The crowd's building today. Finals on 1 p.m. this afternoon. That's when the crowd will really be at a fever pitch. And we've seen the last couple of days it build throughout the afternoon, and then the festival atmosphere once we get to that finals package and the post-race celebrations, we'll call it, around town. So it's good to see. And the heats, it's long, it's a bit hot in the morning. They try and hide a little bit, but they come out in force when it's finals time.
Yeah, they certainly do. And going about those finals, we've got from 1 o'clock onwards, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be on SBS as well, so that is live on TV. And so what we've got coming up, we've got the women's surf race, the men's, also the beach sprint. We spoke about that, and we're also obviously got the beach sprinting on at the moment. We've got the board rescue we saw earlier. The women, they'll do the rescue tube rescue. We've got the ocean man relay, ocean women relay as well. Beach relay, which will obviously get our finalists after this, the men's beach relay as well. And then we move till the end of the program from that 1 o'clock finals package. We move into the open women, ocean iron woman, and also the ocean men as well to finish off the day. So we will be sticking around, and I hope you guys will as well, because we'll have plenty incredible athletes happening then. So, but back to the heats, the girls on screen right now, they have to make sure they put in a very, very strong run leg to get their team through, to make sure they're going to be at that finals package later today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The girls set, ready to go. South Africa closest to us, the Italians, the Kiwis, Poland and France the furthest away. Kiwis off and flying at the moment in the centre there. The French really doing a good job at the top there in third. The South Africans strong as well. Good changeovers in the centre there from the Kiwi ladies. starting to fire, and 1, 2, and 3 have really broken away at the moment. New Zealand, South Africa, the French as well, the Italians and the Polish got to get some work together. Top 4 to go through, so you just got to get yourself in the top 4 at the moment, and it looks like in the middle there, maybe the Polish are the ones out of it at the moment. New Zealand, big lead halfway through this race. That's your top 4 there. South Africa, Italy, and France as well at the top. And I think the Kiwis can just cruise this one on home, and she mightn't even be in second gear at this point. Very easy work. Here comes South Africa. Here comes the French as well, and you can see they've almost switched off on the way home. She's looking around and very comfortable, and what a final leg. You know you're doing well if you can completely turn off the afterburners.
That's pretty nice when your first 3 runners set you up so that you can just almost just have a lazy Saturday afternoon chill out there. So it's, she's definitely, they've all been looked after by their athletes. They put in a really good sprint. So, well, and that's sometimes also talking about tactics of positions.
Tactics, yeah.
You could also, that's what I guess the Australian team did, you have all the water girls who put Naomi and Lana
in
last,
the back end, yeah.
So that potentially, hopefully they have an option to maybe slow down a bit before their Ironwoman final later on today. So we might see a few positions change for the final, and we'll definitely see that gear go up another level.
Yeah, Maddie Kidd there, easy work there for the Kiwi team. She looked very comfortable and was trying not to do any more work than she had to. Brianna Irving from New Zealand absolutely flying off the beach, no dramas at all. South Africa was strong, so were the French, and the Italians ended up getting there, that final spot through to the semi-finals. So you get through to the semi-finals, you've scored points. That's the important thing, but a few of these teams, just scoring points is not enough. You want to be in that final, and a couple of these teams chasing a national world title, for their national team. So big things coming up in this semi-final. You've got to get yourself through to that final if you want to be at the pointy end, and we're not too far away from those either.
Absolutely. If you want to make it on SBS Live as well, make sure you get yourself in that final so you can get an interview down on the beach and get your name up in lights.
Yeah, that's exactly right. A big morning of action so far from all these ladies and gentlemen. I think most of the surf action has wrapped up. We'll stick with the beach until we are run and done, and don't forget to be back at 1 o'clock for our finals package there. The Italian ladies, not the run they would have liked, but they did enough to get themselves through in 4th place. They beat the Poles there, no dramas at all. So they'll be back for another run. South Africans look very strong in the end. They took the win. That team looked very comfortable. Voigt, Brokanart, Tar and Hockley. We've seen Hockley a couple of times today. The French was second. Kiwis were third. The Italians get themselves through to the semi-finals. A reminder, if you want to check any of the results that aren't on the live stream or any of the results from any event all week long, liveheats.com. That's where you can go to get the full gambit of results. The pool, the surf boats, the surf action, national teams, interclub as well. You name it, it's all at Live Heats going there. It is the best results platform. They do everything. All our surf carnivals here in Australia, they do surfing, skateboarding, you name it, Live Heats does it. They are the best in the business, and that's why we use them there. Let's take a look at the highlights from some of the quarterfinals here on the sandpit this morning. The Aussies did a great job, but Egypt looked absolutely fire in quarterfinal number 1.
Yeah, they certainly did. And we look at that, just that transition. They did everything perfect, and they looked like they were having a great time. They had those fresh legs, and they didn't hold up. They really wanted to finish off and really, I guess, say to all the other teams, you know what, we're going to be hard to beat. We're going to be in the final, so catch us if you can. So remarkable, very inspiring. And obviously we've got all those great interviews from Ty, being down the beach there and making some new friends. And here we have our next heat going through, and it's going to be very, very competitive out there.
Yeah, fantastic performance. While those heats were going on as well, the men's surf race was run. We got ourselves a final. I'll quickly run through that one. 32 athletes. Joe Collins from New Zealand, Kosh from Australia, Davidson from South Africa, Sheehan from Sri Lanka, Mozelli from Egypt, Tajaja from Spain, Kevin from France, Pizzotti, Tom O'Neill from the US, Sanchez from Spain, Whitaker, Hanada, and Dubel from Poland, Yunao from Japan, Tisch from Germany, Holub from Czech, Coltree from Argentina, Berner, O'Brien, Coisters, Kim, Pedersen, Hoffer, Rye, Wei-An, Locke, and So did not start. Ty Dowker on the beach. The surf events have been run and done. What a day so far.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's been a magnificent day in the water, but also in the sand as well. And we get to the pointy end now, and it's quite interesting. There's a little bit of drama coming up. Not so much drama. I love creating drama because let's go back to the last World Championships. We spoke about Egypt taking out the female beach relay to Iran. Then it was Australia and New Zealand. Now, Australia and New Zealand are drawn the same semi-final coming up, being semi-final number 1. But also in there, I think we've got South Africa in that one as well, and France. So good little combination. Now, remember, 4 only go through to that of the A final, and the next 4 to that of the B final. So even though it's a semi-final, it's all about numbers game and number crunching and finishing in that top 4, because I know New Zealand and Australia, they definitely want to be in that A final coming up.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Ty. Thank you for that one. A couple of teams from the top 5 from last World Championships in this one as well. Spain finishing in 5th place at the last World Championships. Australia in 3rd, New Zealand in 4th. So this is going to be a really tough one. The US in that semi-final as well. We're taking a look at the replay here and have a look. Talk about switching off. The Kiwis put the handbrake on, pack her up, boys. We are done, because Maddie Kidd just cruised home there. The South Africans and the French came over the top of them there. Let's take a look at the start list of semi-final number 2. New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, South Africa, Spain, the US, the Netherlands as well, and the French just out of shot on that one. So very, very tough one here. No messing about. We're through to the business end. Top 4 go through the A final. Next 4 go through to the B final. If you don't get through here, that can have a real impact on how you perform in terms of the overall point score here. As many points as you can possibly get, that is what it's all about. The name of the game with teams competition here, Courtney Hancock.
Oh, it absolutely is, definitely. This is all coming down to the pointy end. Be really interested to see if some of those positions have also changed as well. We can see Lana Rogers to the side there. She's got the umbrella on there, so she's getting ready for a really big afternoon as well. But we can you just feel the tension, can't you? No one's talking to each other. Everyone's just focusing on making sure they've got the perfect start. And that's why, and then what they're doing right now, they're flattening that sand down because they want to make it a perfect start, a perfect run. So we've seen, when we first saw this morning, the drone shot, it was perfectly flat, the sand. But after we've had so many athletes in there, it does cause the sand to be, well, we know sand is not even, but even more uneven with all the stepping stones. So that's what the competitors are doing right now. And obviously they're setting up their blocks to make sure they can push off and have that nice power.
Yeah, get out quickly and really start to accelerate. And I think like those men's beach sprint heats and quarters we saw, there was a real difference in the semis. It was like first gear, second gear, fifth gear through those 3 rounds, and I think we'll see more of the same here. I don't think the Kiwis will pull up shop like they did in the last one. I don't think any of these girls will be taking it easy, and I think they will be absolutely firing when it comes to the back half of this race. That is for sure. You've got to guarantee yourself a spot in the final. Teams that finished 3, 4 and 5 at the last World Championships are all in this one. The Aussies, the Kiwis and the Spanish. Don't count out any of the others. Off and away. Early speed on this side. The Kiwis, the Australians side by side. The Spanish and the South Africans in 3 and 4 really battling it out. The Americans got some work to do up there on the far side. Changeovers, all important. Clean from all those teams. The Aussies starting to work their way through. Mariah Jones really starting to go to work here. The Kiwis just hanging on. The Spaniards, they sit in 3rd place. The South Africans starting to fade ever so slightly. It's time for the water athletes for the Australians. We'll see how they go. Still in 1, the Aussies. The Kiwis in 2. The Spanish in 3. The race for 4th place is on. The Americans, the Argentinians, the South Africans at the top side there. A few of those other teams really starting to get into it. Maybe the French. Yeah, the French are coming in with a flurry as well. They've gone to 4th. The Kiwis go to the front at the moment. The Aussies will have no dramas. The French have run from 6th into 3rd place. The Spaniards are fading and the South Africans are coming. The dip on the line. Oh, the Spaniards get there. So it's Australia and New Zealand. Ultra big last leg from the French. They came from the clouds, and I think the Spaniards will be the last ones in that final, and we say goodbye to the Americans and maybe even the South Africans as well. That one's pretty close. I wouldn't count my judgment there, but that last run from the French, unbelievable. If they're close in this final, they can win it.
Oh, absolutely. That was an amazing finish over the other side. She really just took off and she really knew what she needed to do. So that was really impressive also by Australia and New Zealand as well. They really took it out and had their beaches out there in front there, gave them a really nice lead. And yeah, you definitely saw that, as you can see from the start here, all their first runners just really trying to set their team up into that wind, of course, but wow, I just really saw the accelerator go on for every single athlete.
Yeah, they change over here, the Aussies. Mariah Jones, she's a swimmer. She's a pool swimmer, but she's very quick, that's for sure. Goes to the lead there, sets that one up. Lana Rogers, quick across the sand as well, just holding on and then bringing it home, Kidd, and that. But have a look at the top of the screen. The French woman flying home here. She's gone from, well, I think she was 6th at the changeover into 3rd, and you give her 50 more metres and she would have won that one, that is for sure. The dip at the line, have a look at this. 1 and 2, no dramas at all. 3 for France. Here we go. Spain get there. South Africa miss out, I think. So the Spanish are in and the South Africans go home, and we knew it was a bogey heat. We knew it was a tough one, and one of the big favourites, they'll go home.
Oh, I know, sadly they will, but it's a team effort and everyone put in everything they possibly could, and at the end of the day, that's all you can do. So it's super challenging. I mean, they will be in the B final, and we'll just see the results in a moment. Yeah, starting to roll through at the bottom there, of course. We got all those results, 1 and 2, New Zealand and Oz. France in 3. Spain did get there in 4th place, so a great job from the Spanish team. 5 was South Africa, 6 was Argentina. The US faded in that final leg to finish in 7, and the Netherlands were your top 8 there. Great job all round in semi-final number 1 of the women's beach relay. Semi-final number 2 coming up, and well, if that one was a match race for the overall point score, this one's a match race for just the women's beach relay. Egypt and Iran, they were 1st and 2nd in 2022. They've looked the best so far of what we've seen of all these teams, and they'll go both in this second semi-final. Yeah, and you saw in the heat just before, they were really stamping their mark, weren't they? They really made sure they put it all in, and I like that. I think you really need to get out there, and unless you've done, obviously, the ocean competitors have done race after race, they need to rest. But for the Egyptian women out here, they haven't been racing. This is their first race for the whole competition, so they want to get out there, warm up, get into it. Blow the cobwebs out, yeah. Absolutely, and when you're that fit, race after race, you get better and better and better. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. They will, well, I'm not going to touch wood on them, but they're looking very good to make the final. Same with the Iran, they're looking very strong as well. Yeah, fantastic performance. The Italians will be set and ready to go. This semi-final, it has quarterfinal there, but there's only 2 of them, so it's a semi. They have Canada, Italy. So Canada on the right-hand side, Italy there, the Czechs, Egypt, Japan, Germany, Iran, and Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The girls are asked to the line by the starter. The Canadians closest to us. Great Britain and Northern Ireland furthest away off in semi-final number 2 of the women's beach relay. Have a look at the far side. Great Britain absolutely flying. The Egyptians going with him, and they seem to work into these relays very, very well. Egypt will change over first. You've got to be clean here, especially at the important semi-finals. Germany doing well. Here come Iran. Iran have made the jump out of the pack, and they're chasing down the Egyptians. A great leg from the Iranian runner there. They'll go into this changeover side by side. Clean changeovers from both of them. Maybe Egypt just a little bit better. Great Britain sitting pretty in 3rd. Germany holding on to the final spot in the final, with Canada coming very, very fast. But Egypt, they're back in front at the moment. Iran, the changeover's important. A good one from them, but still out in front. Egypt in 1. Iran goes straight to the lead, straight past the Egyptians. And what about that? 2 huge legs there from the Iranians, and they will lead that semi-final. Egypt in 2, and I think that semi looked quicker than the other one. Great Britain and Northern Ireland get there, and I think maybe Canada stormed home for 4th place. So we didn't quite see that one, but Iran are happy with it, and they can maybe just get some of those changeovers a little bit smoother there. They might be untouchable because they looked much better than the first semi, and they dominated that one there. Those 2nd and 4th legs, they were absolutely lightning. They were, and they were happy about it. They certainly, I love to see that, the smiles on their faces. I felt like Egypt, they definitely backed it off. Their last runner, they kind of knew where they were, knew they had good distance, knew that they were in the final. So she definitely tapped it off. So I think definitely, here we have a replay, we'll see Egypt, that last runner, really, really put the accelerator on. Here we go at start. Great Britain and Northern Ireland had the best of it early. The Egyptians built into it, and you can see how far down
Iran was. They were in 5th place at one point, which was a bit shocking given how well they did. But it was this leg that really brought them to the fore. She went to the front. Then it was sort of side by side. Not a great changeover, but that final leg, absolutely grease lightning out there, absolutely flying home. And they're the red-hot favourites. I think they're the best two teams. I think Australia and New Zealand will battle it out for 2nd and 3rd. Maybe 1 or 2 other countries will jump up. But that semi-final number 2, they're the favourites.
I definitely agree with you. They look so good in every single heat this morning. They looked good then. I'm excited to also see individually how well they go as well, because they all look quickest across the sand, and it'd be really interesting if they're going to be next to each other as well in the lane. The
difficult part is you can only put 2 in each event individually, so when you got those, all 4 of those girls might end up in the individual beach relay final, so sometimes it's harder to just make your national team than it is to make the final itself when you come to a World Championships. But that's the level of competition. It's like being in the Ironman or Iron Woman, or sorry, the Ocean Man or Ocean Woman events for Australia or New Zealand. If you can get in the team, you're almost guaranteed to be in the final, and running for Egypt or Iran is almost the same.
Absolutely, definitely. It'll be we'll be able to potentially well, I was going to say we're going to potentially go to tie, but I think we've got some exciting news to announce.
Yeah, that wraps up our competition from today. Thank you for watching the 2024 Lifesaving World Championships, Day 1 of the national team's beach competition for the open competitors. We'll be back at 1 o'clock on the live stream for the full finals package. You can also catch it live on SBS Plus there. Jump on, support the people that support us, and watch the world's best surf sports athletes doing their thing right here on this stretch of sand in just a few hours' time. On behalf of myself and the entire team, thank you for watching, and we'll see you this afternoon at 1 o'clock.